Welcome to Nephew and Uncle Basketball Banter. Uncle Dave, let's jump right into it with this whole gambling scandal that's going on right now that involves Chauncey Billups, Terry Rozier, and Damon Jones. It's really not a good week for the league, I would say, with the NBA season just starting and some great games, but this is definitely a black eye right now. And I think Adam Silver has to speak on this. You're involving now. I mean, Chauncey Billups just got inducted into the Hall of Fame last year. He's definitely considered a model citizen. And now, obviously, with this illegal poker gambling scheme here with X-ray goggles or whatever, sunglasses and the table and everything, and being involved with the mafia, basically was selling his influence to these shady characters, saying that he would limit guys' minutes or play them more. And obviously, that's basically insider trading right there.
Oh yeah.
And then Damon Jones basically is accused of the same exact thing. He was an assistant coach for the Lakers, and he was telling people ahead of time, tipping them off whether LeBron James was going to be playing that night or Anthony Davis, and having people that he's associated with quick betting on that line. If LeBron or Anthony Davis in a game is not playing, that's going to affect how the spread is. We have some shady things going on here. Terry Rozier basically is accused of shaving points, and on top of that, basically these player prop things with these betting sites now. Guys right now are essentially, these guys know, damn well going into a game whether they have their over or unders on their lines, their points, the rebounds, steals, and blocks, whatever. And Michael Porter Jr. just had an interview not that long ago where he's like, look, he's like, you could just say 10 minutes into a game, hey, my knee's bothering me, and then you bet the under on my lines, and then you cash in. So
Yeah, that's what happened in 2023 with the Rozier.
yeah, so we talked about this on previous shows of ours here that this was definitely going to be a problem. And Tim Donaghy just had an interview on a guy, Jason Brown show. He was a coach for the Last Chance U on Netflix documentary. And he's basically saying this is just the beginning right here. This is
Oh
you
yeah.
telling me that referees are not on this, coaches, players. And basically what he was saying is this could get really, really messy. That if, let's say, we bet 10 grand on a game that Terry Rozier was playing in, and we know that he was shaving points and altered the game somehow, that you have a class action lawsuit type of argument on your behalf, then that you can get a lawyer involved, and this could get really dicey here. I mean, I'm sure there are lawyers out there that would be willing to take that kind of case up. I think it's insane. And he was also saying about an hour and a half before a game, referees get tipped off on guys' status. What is it? Their injuries, who's out for the game. He says there's nothing to prevent a referee an hour before the game calling someone and saying, hey, so and so's out. No one knows this but me. And you could just put that out there, and you could have this basically this illegal type of shady thing going on. So what do you
Yep.
make of this, Uncle Dave, as far as the league is concerned?
Well, we have talked about it before. We've talked about it in private. We talked about it on the show. This was Pandora's box. You can't put the genie back in the bottle. You're in bed every 5 seconds when there's a scoreboard up there in ESPN. It tells you what the odds are of winning a game now and what prop bets you can make now. And you
How do you
got in
trust
bed with
anything
this.
anymore? How do you trust
No,
anything anymore?
you got in bed with this, and the bad news is that the card playing has gone on forever, but not with cheating and for millions of dollars. I mean, players have been playing in the back of the
Right,
bus for
right.
in the back of the plane for years. Yeah, obviously a full lot less money. Yeah, the thing with the X-ray table and the cards is that's a real problem because the mob's involved, and the mob doesn't play games, as you know. The five families in New York will not be reacting kindly to
Yeah,
this.
you're a big history guy and organized crime guy, so you know all the history about all this stuff. So you
Yeah, I
know that
mean,
this
it's
is
been
really bad.
in basketball's the easiest one to shave. We've talked about
Right.
this. It's happened to CCNY. It happened to BC. It happened to NC State. It's happened all over the place. I
Arizona
mean,
State. Yep.
yep. And and I told you when you're watching that 2002 Sacramento Lakers series, I remember
Well,
watching it
that's
very
what Donaghy
vividly.
brought up too. He's like, that's absolutely an inside job right there.
I remember sitting there watching, thinking this shit is this shit was fixed, and
Right.
here we are.
Right.
So I mean, the worst one to me is the assistant coach,
Damon
you know,
Jones.
Damon Jones, because he's given tips about LeBron's health, and then there's a couple of nights when LeBron took off 2 nights in a row, and
Right.
I mean the evidence is there. The bad news is I don't think LeBron would be involved, and you know me, I'm not a LeBron guy, but LeBron does love basketball, so I won't deny that. So I'll stick up for him here. Maybe a coach is telling a person that when he's not playing, and obviously that makes a big difference in the line if LeBron's not playing, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's just scary what this is all about, and like I said, it's really frightening because then the game's not on the up and up, and it could really hurt the fan thing. And the worst part is Stephen A. Smith and Chris Russo. trying to make this about Trump. This investigation started in 2023. This is
It
long
started
before
with, yeah,
Trump.
the previous administration,
But
right?
then again, they work for ESPN and they're shills because ESPN just spent a ton of money to get the best post game and halftime show in NBA history. And they paid a ton of money to do it. And they're going to go out there and they're going to like lick the milk up for the rest of ESPN. So I'm really disappointed in Dog and Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. stands for asshole in my book. Always has. At least he's usually honest. But today he took one for ESPN, which now he has no credibility in my eyes. Never had much, but I thought at least he might give you an honest opinion, but not anymore. Dog, shame on him. Disgrace is a guy who's probably pushing
You've
70 years
listened.
old.
Yeah, I know you've listened to him a lot. Yeah.
Pushing 70 years old. I mean, go back to like not being a sellout, Dog, please. I mean, that's disgusting. I mean, he doesn't know a lot about basketball anyway. But that's just disgusting. But Brian Windhorst, you watch, ESPN will push him off now. Because Brian Windhorst went on yesterday and said
Yeah, he
this
was
is just the
critical. Yeah.
beginning.
Yep.
And Terry Rozier is a big problem because Terry Rozier sat out, and it was funny. 3 days ago on a podcast, I happened to tune in NBA radio when it's about the Miami Heat season preview, and everybody's talking about got to get something out of Rozier. What has happened to this guy the last
Right.
couple of years?
Right.
Now Terry Rozier, after the NBA cleared him, didn't play the rest of the year. So that's what Brian Windhorst said. What has to be now? The NBA's got to answer that question.
Well,
So
everyone's
what?
saying Adam Silver like called down basically and maybe put
Yeah,
the lid on and said, "Hey, you're not playing this guy right now." Right.
yeah. So like the NBA knew then. And so, if anybody to make this about President Trump, again, it's just more bullshit. I'm sure soon we'll have a stupid ass Popovich quote or a Steve Kerr quote, some other jackass like that. But the bottom line is, this is their problem. This is an NBA problem. You got in bed, and it's. I'm sure it's in the NFL. I mean, that's that stat about Patrick Mahomes has had 19 interceptions called back for penalty. No one other quarterback even has 5. I mean, there's all kinds of crap out there. You
Yeah.
can read it. I mean, I try not to believe those things because my whole life, I don't think games were fixed. But then again, with the technology we have now, it is way too easy to do it. It's just way too easy to fix it, and the technology makes it worse. And gambling's part of our culture, and people try to argue and go, "Well, it's Rozier making 26 million. It's not about that. The thrill. It's not about how much money you have. It's not for the money. Terry Rozier is making 26 million a year. It's not for the money. It's for the thrill. It's for getting away with something. It's a real issue. That's why people do it. Terry Rozier doesn't need money.
I was
Like a
reading
person
something
drinking
that was
alcohol
saying
is
that
it's an addiction.
more young people now are gambling rather than drinking. It's
I've
just as
told you
if
in
as
high
anything.
school,
Yeah.
high school age boys in the last 5 years, I've told
Oh
you
my
this
God.
50 times.
Yeah.
It is the biggest epidemic in high school. It's not smoking, which we're grateful for.
Right.
It's not alcohol. It's not vaping. It's gambling on sports. Every athlete in high school now, check them. They're gambling. It's disgusting. And we've talked about this a million times. I've talked to a ton of players about this in school. I've talked to a ton of students in school. They're betting on Japanese league basketball when they can't even pronounce the players. They're betting on a tennis match in Dubai when they don't even know tennis players. They just
Right.
gamble to gamble. They're gambling on their phone in card games. It's just disgusting. And so what all you need at their age as a minor is your parents' social security number. So the bad news is a credit card. And the bad news is it's just disgusting. As a kid the other day, I heard him say to his friend he lost $500.
Yeah.
Now, where the hell are you getting that money? I know you don't have a job. Nobody does anymore. So, I mean, it's just amazing, but it's part of our culture now. And so until you recognize we have a problem, and we do, we've made smoking crap easier. We've made gambling easier. I mean, you got to put some restrictions on it. But the NBA, like if you turn on ESPN right now, if you were watching an NBA game, there's like fucking odds all over
Oh
the
my
place
God. Yeah, it's
popping up on the
disgusting.
screen.
Right.
And, if you want to gamble, make it be 21 or whatever, but you got to monitor it. I mean, like Shaq spoke really well about this on the show
Yeah,
the
he
other
did.
day
Yeah.
because he didn't sell out. Kenny Smith is always a sellout, tries to defend the players, always does. But Charles and Shaq were like, listen, they used to give us a seminar every year telling us what we couldn't do, and these
Right.
guys did it.
Right.
But Kenny always defends everything the players do. He is another shill for the league. It's a disgrace. He's the three. He's one of the out of those three. He's the one I like least by far most. That you can replace him with an old shoe, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Because he always defends the players. He always takes like the angle of like somebody's a victim here. No, you committed this thing. I don't care if you're addicted or not. You're making $26 million a year. You don't need the money. Again, it is an addiction at that point. But Barkley and Shaq were right. It's crap. And I read an article last weekend about the small level college gambling on
Oh my
fixing those
God.
games.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
not as many prop bets at the lower level in D1, but there's still a lot of point shaving going on. And
Absolutely.
there's a whole investigation going into it with the same pattern of small, lower than mid major teams losing a ton of games. And so a friend of mine sent it to me and I read it and I was like, oh my God. I mean, you can see that happening because now what we've done is we've taken the integrity out of the player and the struggle out of the player. So what we've done now is there's no loyalty to the school because you might be on like your seventh school in 5 years, or your 38th year senior, where you're 55 years old and have a mortgage and you're still playing college basketball. That's coming. I mean, this thing with the D League, the G League, is disgusting.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that too.
I mean, no, getting to that too. But like here we are. So you have no loyalty to the school. You don't know your teammates. You've never struggled with them before. You never sweat with them before. You never got your ass kicked with them before. Because the minute you do now, you go out the door. And so there's no morality for it anymore where you go, you know what? This means something to me. It doesn't. So now if I'm at like, Southwest Piss State making 5,000 a nil and you're at Southwest Piss State making 10,000 a nil, I'm pissed that you're making 10 and I'm making 5. So you're damn right I'm going to fix the game. And this is what we've created.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming down the pike in college too. Because I think it's even worse in college. It's just less money.
Well, Tim Donaghy was saying that what you were just saying. He's like, if you're a mid-major at a lower level school, he's like, if someone comes to you and says, "Hey, here's 75 grand. I want you to win by 5 instead of 12," they're going to do that.
Yeah, miss a free throw.
I mean,
Paul
it's
Shackle
so
for the
easy in
NC State.
basketball too.
Yeah, it's just disgusting. And here we are. And like, it's just so sad. But I have to blame the purveyors of the game. One of the old assistant coaches I miss dearly, he passed away a couple of years ago in 2022, Joe Walter. We used to call him the Silver Fox, JW, he called him. I worked with him at Stony Brook. And he used to always say when he retired, and he'd come watch my games once in a while, he'd say, "Protect the game, Davey." He would say, "Protect the game, Davey, and protect the game," which means have integrity for the game and don't sell it out.
Right.
Don't sell out the game. Protect the game. Do what's right. If a kid shows up late to practice, reprimand him. So he meant going forward, I should protect the game because nobody else is protecting the game. Most people don't anymore. We have people selling the game out, and that's what we're doing here. So like in the old days, like Shaq was saying, they're talking to you all the time about what you can and you can't do. Eddie Johnson the other day, was a great 6th Man of the Year award winner, was saying how he wasn't allowed to ride a motorcycle. He knew that. It was in his contract. Obviously, Jason Williams didn't get that memo, but bottom line is, like these guys, they know what they're not supposed to do, and they're doing it. So it's really disgusting, and it's sad, and I'm just so sick of thinking about it when the NBA's had a great first week of games.
I think that's why a lot of people romanticize previous eras now because people thought what you were just saying, the integrity of the game. That's really what it meant, I think, to a lot of those
I
guys.
think it was harder to do it back then. Today with the
Yeah.
electronics, and now it's legal.
Yeah,
Once you made this legal, so Pete Rose isn't in the Hall of Fame for something that's legal now.
I know. It's insane.
So what the fuck is that? I mean, that's bullshit. So let's just call it what it is. It's flat out bullshit now. So if we're gonna do that, then let's recognize that it's not legit, and he should be in.
What I've been telling people, and when you're watching a game or I'm watching a game, you want to believe what you're seeing there is actually real, that it's pure,
Yeah, you
that
want to believe
it's
it's
authentic.
legit.
When you ruin the authenticity of the game or people think what they're watching is scripted or fake or not real, you're going
Yeah.
to lose fans with that. Now, the NBA and the NFL and the MLB, they will say the game has grown, but the people you brought in now are people who don't necessarily love the game or care about the players or anything. They're just in it just to try to get a bag with the betting.
Well, you even see it, and I'm not saying this is bad, but you even see it with fantasy football. Everywhere I work, I have a couple of different jobs. Everybody's in fantasy football, and they always ask me to go in. I said, you know what?
I
I'm
never
not
do it.
putting a goddamn Green Bay Packer on my team.
Right,
I don't
exactly.
give a
Right.
shit.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if I'm not willing to put a Green Bay Packer or a Chicago Bear on my team because I'm a Viking fan, then I don't really have a good chance to win then, do I? So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
It's like today, everybody just watches the red zone because you want to see your gambling bets. We all do it. I don't do it because I don't watch the red zone. I just watch the Vikings. Bottom line is you've changed the way everything is consumed, and now everything's about $1, which is great. And I love capitalism. No one preaches it more than I do in class every day being a history teacher. But the bottom line is there's a limit to it. And what's going on now with this gambling crap, I mean, you're totally viewing and changed the way people are viewing and consuming the game, which is great, but it's not for the better. It's just not.
Yeah, I think we have an epidemic coming down the pike if we don't already.
Oh boy, teenage boys! I'm telling you, they're asking me shit like Japanese basketball. They're like, one day says to me, "Mr. Shola, who's Jameel Warney?" I go, "That's Stony Brook's leading rebounder of all time. You don't know who that is?" He's like, "No." I'm like, "What are you betting on it for then?" Yeah, he was one MVP in his league a couple of times overseas, and
Yeah.
it's a great player. But I'm like, guy, what are you betting on something that you have to ask somebody else about?
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's maybe not a good idea then, right?
I mean, I've had former players come up to me and say, "What do you think of East Tennessee State tonight?" And I go, "I'll tell you what. The fact that you don't know where the fuck East Tennessee State is means you should probably not be betting on it."
Right. And the
I'm like,
thing
I'm not going
is,
to tell you what I think of East Tennessee State because you don't
no,
follow it.
no. And what I think the whole thing with gambling too is nobody has said, "Hey, my life got better because I was really into gambling." Nobody has ever said that.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, I
always
know.
people
Yeah,
destroy
of
their own
course.
lives with it.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, I'm all for it, and I love playing the NCAA bracket, and
Oh
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
knockout pools.
Don't bet
But
when you can't afford to lose.
they're going to have to get rid of the parlays though, because that's
Well,
where
that's what
it's easy
people
to
are saying.
fix.
They got to get rid of like the prop bets too, with guys over under
Well,
rebound
I'll give you an
stuff like
example.
that.
One of my former guys won 38,000 on a simple parlay with Bo Nix anytime touchdown and the kid Waller with a touchdown. Now, the tight end who came out of retirement, he won 38,000. So he's a 22-year-old guy that's won $38,000, and I'm all for that, but he's not involved in fixing games either. And the bad news is on these sites, as I tell my guys in school all the time, if you win too much, they'll cut you off the site. So, and that's a fact. So it's just I'm all for it. If you want to have fun, go ahead. But this fixing stuff is a big problem.
Yeah, yeah. I think, and as far as Billups, Rozier, and Jones, Uncle Dave, I think if they're found guilty of what they're being accused of here, innocent until proven guilty, but if they are guilty of that, I think if you're the league, you have to then cut ties with them and ban them from anything associated with the NBA, right?
You do, but what I want to see, and this will never happen, is what I want to see is them be banned from the league. But I also want to see them not get jail time, and I want them to be forced to go talk to people about this. That be their penance. They have to go speak to a group a day, 362 days a year, with minus Christmas, Thanksgiving, some other day. And I want them to go speak to young people about this. Because you know what? Throwing those three assholes in jail, if they go to jail, is not worth it. So let's call it what it is. And let's have them be a part of a program where we get this out, because this is going to blow up. Like, this mid-major stuff and hoop is going to get crazy. Where do you see this? This is going to explode.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
now the guy at like UMass Lowell, he's not making any money. He
right.
might
And he
make
knows
two
he's
thousand dollars.
and he knows he's not playing at the next level. So he's like, this is my only chance to get,
This is my only chance, and you can't blame that thought. The only thing
no,
that holds you back from committing it is integrity, and it's just not the same chance to have the integrity for your teammates because you didn't go through the struggle. You might be at your third school in 4 years. It's totally different. There's none of that. There's no Bob Hurley to Christian Laettner for 3 years in a row anymore. There's none of that. There's no Mark Price to Hammond to Georgia Tech for 4 years in a row. There's none of that because you've lost that. So now you don't even know. There's none of that. Like like live and die with this guy. There's none of that. The way
right.
we set up the system now, it just makes everything easier to change everything. Anytime you have a struggle, you can get out, which makes it even more likely to gamble. You don't owe your teammate anything. You just met this guy like in June. So
Well,
now
that's the thing.
you're gonna turn down $100,000.
Yeah, everyone looks at themselves as an individual entity and an asset. They don't look at themselves as a group anymore, as a team.
No, it's not a fist anymore. It's five fingers.
Right, right. Yeah,
It's
that's a
not
good
a
way of putting
fist.
it.
Like I told you, it's microwave basketball, which is some great basketball. I'll say that, but it's microwave basketball, and that's why these schemes, the elaborateness of the schemes, is gone. As far as in basketball, anyway, you don't see a lot of patience on offenses with lots of cuts and backdoor cuts for a simple reason that it's teamwork, and you're not going to develop that as much. You're going to get a bunch of individuals who can maybe help each other out, and but even that being said, I can't believe how flawed some of these very expected to be good NBA teams are right now.
Tim Donaghy said is just the tip of the iceberg. I
Oh,
really
it is. He's
fear
so
for
right. And you hear we're going to be. If you're on the side of prosecuting this, they're going to call you a conspiracy theorist. They've already put it out there. You're a conspiracy theorist. This is not a big deal. The fact that you don't, if anybody thinks it's not a big deal, you better check what Pete Rose is still not in the Hall of Fame. He's the all-time hit leader. No one's ever going to sniff his record. And this is a big deal because now it's the integrity of the game. So now you lose the casual fan.
right,
And the casual fan's the one who pays the bills. I'm going to watch basketball no matter what.
right. But a lot
The
of people
person
don't,
who's
though.
the casual fan, they're only watching in March or playoffs.
Right.
I'm not paying $10,000 to sit front row at the Knick game if I think it's fixed.
Well, that's the thing too. How do you expect people to go to the arena then too, and spend this kind of
Yep.
money then to pay for a ticket to go watch this if they think that there's some sort of
Yeah,
nefarious activity going on here? I think this
this
is a
is
real
a
problem. And
this is a scary time. It really is.
yeah, I think that the Adam Silva really has to be on top of this. And Donaghy basically said that the NBA basically, and I love David Stern, I thought he was a really good commissioner, but he basically said they didn't fix the problem. He said what they did
No.
is they casted him as a lone rogue kind of guy, a black sheep, and said he acted alone and this is not a problem. And Donahue, I don't know if you've seen that special on Netflix
Yep.
about him. It's excellent. It really is
Best.
fantastic.
The best. It's the best one there is.
Yeah, and he's basically said, no, this is a widespread problem in the NBA. And now,
Well, look what they did with Porter's brother. They
yeah,
got him out for life. He got Beasley's in trouble, but all of a sudden, like those guys weren't linked to this. Come on, there's something more there.
right. Well,
They
that's
thought it would go away with that. And look at here's the other thing. I don't know if this is true, but you took 4 years to investigate this, but Otani, it took 2 days.
well, people are also talking about that. That just went away.
Otani, it took 2 days.
Yeah, right.
Not
Yeah.
only did we change the DH rule for him in the National League, we made the bases closer. Can we do any more for this guy?
Right.
But he's the best ever. Well, he's 22 for 22 in World Series play, so go kiss my ass. Two
Yeah,
for
no,
22 in World Series play. Kiss my ass.
but Donnie was saying that this does not stop with him. The NBA just tried to make it seem like he was the guy
And,
who
and let
was
me and let me and let me point out something here.
the only nefarious actor.
Conspiracy theorist is always right. Jose Canseco said we had a big steroid problem, different sport. Big time A's fan here. I know Jose Canseco very well. Bottom line is this guy said we got a bigger problem than me, and here we are. What happened with all the steroid stuff?
Right.
Huge problem. So, because Jose Canseco doesn't get anything for ratting people out, he's already a millionaire. He's already an MVP. He doesn't care. Terry Rozier, if he tells you something's going on, he's not going to lie to you either. Terry Rozier's got $26 million.
And don't kid yourself. When the feds get involved here and they really start pressing these guys here, these guys they're gonna talk. They're gonna say, "Hey, you either cooperate with us, you're gonna get 20 years in prison." So these guys are
Well,
gonna,
like that's like the one thing in the indictment. Who's the eighth person? They're
right.
not naming the eighth person. Is that Chauncey Billups?
Yeah, I have no idea. We'll
I mean,
find out
this is going to
eventually.
be and Chauncey Billups is the last guy you'd expect because
Well, that's the thing, right? Yeah,
I thought he was just a lover of basketball.
right.
So if Chauncey is the kind of guy that would do it, then we're in trouble here.
Yeah, yeah. He was viewed before this as a model citizen. You never heard
Missed the
anything
big
bad about him
shot.
as a player. He's very professional.
Missed a big shot.
So and the thing is, he's a head coach doing this and saying
Oh,
he's gonna limit guys' minutes and everything. So this
he
is
did. They got examples already.
right. So that is a really ugly look. Like I said, if they're guilty of this, you have to then ban them from the league. But what you said is right. The league should use them as an asset, though, in some way of
I
like
don't want any jail time.
right.
I want every day, and I want hardcore. I don't want some bullshit probation assignment.
Yeah,
I want these motherfuckers, excuse my French tonight, I'm pissed off about this crap because we've bent over and we made everything that sucks in the world easier for people to do, especially young people. And that's why I work around every day. And this is bullshit. I'm tired of it because we sold out our fucking soul for a quarter. And the guy who's making more than a fucking quarter already had 8 million quarters. What the fuck is he doing? So here we are. It's like they said in the movie, Wall Street. How many yachts can you water ski behind? Well, here we are. We're going to have another 100 yachts to water ski behind. So here we are. So we're just making everything easier. Hey, you can go vape weed. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Now you can gamble anytime you want. Do whatever you want. We don't hold anybody accountable. And the adults are the ones to blame here. And it's disgusting. As I'm telling you, the amount of gambling in high school is out of control.
well, that's what I was talking about with some people today too. It's that at what point do we say the leagues are somewhat responsible for this? You have to say they have
Ah,
the responsibility, right? I mean, come
they
on.
are responsible, these bastards. Look what they did. They
And you
sold their soul for a quarter.
and you can't say that you're concerned with gambling addiction here. But let's be honest, when you partner with these DraftKings and these FanDuels, you want people to use them. That's why you're doing it. You want people
You're
to
making addicts.
right. Yeah.
You're making an addict.
Yeah.
No one sets out to be an addict. They
Right.
become one.
Right.
You're making an addict.
Yeah.
Nobody goes, hey, you know what? Let me become addicted to something today. I mean, the only silver lining is it's not drugs as much anymore as it is this shit. But the bottom line is this is just not good. It's awful.
The
But
thing I find humorous about the whole thing is too, these leagues did their best for the longest time to stay away from
yeah,
gambling. Now they're in bed with it. I mean, it feels like what you said, prostitution here, like it's a hooker type of
it
thing.
is. And that's why I've said Adam Silver, some people like him. I thought he's the worst commissioner I've ever seen in sports
Yeah,
because
he's
he
bad.
got in bed with it. And then freaking the NFL guy got in bed with it. They all got in bed with it. And
Yeah.
here we are.
Yeah, it's bad.
You want to play fantasy sports? I'm all in.
Yeah.
You want to have fantasy sports gambling? I'm in. You're going to have these parlays. We're going to have trouble.
Yeah.
So now, like, next time a guy runs out of bounds at the 2-yard line, I'm sorry. It's a thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's all it takes. Now, the addicted gambler will still come back. I'm just talking about the casual fan as far as TV ratings, that might not even matter anymore. TV ratings might not even make them their big money anymore. Who the hell knows? But the streaming, nobody cares maybe. But the bottom line is, if you get it's the casual fan. Suppose Otani goes 2 for 19 again this World Series, and he's been involved with gambling. So that's 2 World Series in a row where he goes 2 for 19. You tell me that's not a possibility? Now he doesn't need the money, God knows, but you're telling me that's not a possibility?
Now, of course it is.
Think about that. Suppose he went 0 for 3 tonight. Last time I checked. Suppose he goes another 2 for 19. I mean, just think about it. Is that outside the realm? Then people will defend him by going, "Oh, he has a lot of money." Doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with the money, unless you're the kid making $3,000 a year at Southwest East Louisiana Tech. All right, that's a different story. That is about the money. For Otani, it's not about the money. For Terry Rozier, it's not about the money. It's about getting away with it. It's about access. It's about the thrill.
That's the thing with Donna he was talking about in this interview that I saw. He's like, it's a compulsion at these guys. And let's be honest, anytime a guy, even if he has obviously not Otani money, but like Rozier, if they have a chance to make a couple more million, they're going to listen to that. And
not to mention that they're alpha males. Their competitive drive is huge. So if you're not an alpha, you don't understand what the need to win at anything is.
Right.
If I'm playing Monopoly, I want to win. Alphas all feel that way about everything. So if I can pull off this gambling scandal, I'm winning at it.
Right.
It's not about what you make. It's about the desire to win at all costs.
Right. Yeah.
The
Last Dance with Michael Jordan and the Bulls really illustrated that. Basically, behind the scenes, these guys they're betting thousands of hands on planes in card games.
Hey man, you've been a part of it in college. The guys have been betting their meal money. We used to police this crap in the back of the bus because I'd be like, look, every time we'd recruit a freshman, I'd say to the seniors, "Hey guys,
don't
get involved with the seniors in the back of the bus. They're going to fleece you."
Right.
So we get some kid from the suburbs. He'd wind up in the back of the bus with a couple of city guys, and he'd get fleeced. Right. They'd say, "Well, now you don't have $8 to eat dinner, you fool."
Mm-hmm.
This is back in 1992, but $8.92 could buy you a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
So now you're in the back of the bus, and you're saying, "Jesus Christ, you just lost your $8 of meal money." And then his mom's going to hear that he's hungry, and then she's going to want to know why he's hungry, and then they're going to have to tell her son was gambling in the back of the bus. I hate to be right about this, but I've been talking to you about this for years.
Yeah, I know you have. Yeah.
I mean, this is a totally different world because the last 5 years, we've made this legal in almost every state now, and this is when it took off in high school.
Yeah.
I know guys, former players of mine, before it was legal in New York, who would drive halfway over the GW to place a bet and come back.
Oh God, yeah. That shows you the compulsion and the addiction there. Yeah.
And these are good people.
Right? No. Yeah, absolutely.
These are good people. It has nothing to do with it.
Good people can get sucked up in an addictive lifestyle and destroy their life. Absolutely.
These are guys that you trust your children with.
Right.
These guys would go halfway across the GW, get over there so they can make a bet.
Yeah.
Online.
That's what I worry about too with this, that people ruin their lives or someone else's life, just from this compulsion and this addiction here. And it's only going to get worse. Like I said, I was reading about how young people now, millennials, they're doing more gambling now than drinking. And not like you said, we don't want alcohol.
That's a positive. I think it's a positive, but it's not a total positive.
Right. No. You're a place.
I'd rather gamble than heroin, I guess, but
Right. Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Like I said, I've read and watched more things where gambling has destroyed a person's life rather than make it great. It's just.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine's brother. I gambled his house away one time. It's tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lost his house. Eventually lost his wife.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't hurt just yourself. You ruin your livelihood.
And that's when it was illegal. He did this in cards.
Oh God, yeah.
Now it's legal.
And that's the thing with sports. People are inclined to watch it more now because of the gambling. Like I said, you bring people, but you're bringing in. I think not to say that there's a wrong person, but these are not people who are concerned with the integrity of these games here. They're just looking for a thrill.
Well, and the worst part is, as I've told you this too, like in my youth, the first pregame show started with Brent Musburger and Jane Kennedy and some great people, Jimmy the Greek, and just great people, Irv Cross, and from that time until about 2 years ago, Sunday morning, I listened to pregame shows. Now you cannot find a pregame show. Every show is focused on the fantasy or the betting.
Yeah.
And so I'm driving to my fall leagues in the morning that I've been running for years on Sunday mornings. And here I am, and I can't get a goddamn preview show. I can't get what you tell me about the Seahawks and the Rams because all you're talking about is fantasy or the gambling angle. And I don't care about either. I just want a preview. I want to hear your thoughts on who's going to win and why, and that's what I want. You can't find that anymore because the gambling talks and rules the roost.
I will say when on Sundays with the NFL, now we have the NBA on. It's not about after the game, the discussion of what happened during the game or the results or what it's about did my parlay hit or not. You know, I mean, it's just as much that as the actual game now. I
It
think
is, and that's
always
where
the
the
bets are bigger.
younger that's where we said before the younger fan is being raised different. Doesn't mean it's any less, but in my opinion, it's not about the game anymore with these people. It's about did I win my $70?
We're going to jump over to this topic here of Tom Izzo had this, I think, great quote here in this video segment.
Where a guy can be in the G League for 2 or 3 years, and then all of a sudden he's eligible. Most of my people knew nothing about it. I don't think our commissioner. Well, if they go pro, it doesn't work out, shouldn't they be able to come back? Well, what about the freshman you recruited there? That's somebody's son. And he thinks he's got himself a good place, and all of a sudden, shazam, they pull out of their hat and bring a 21 or 22-year-old in. To me, it's ridiculous. To me, it's embarrassing. And I love my job. I don't respect my profession. But I'll never agree to that stuff. I think we're really verting the freshmen in high school. I mean, the seniors in high school, giving them a chance. And we're just going to, what's the age limit now? Is it 30? You know, if you have 3 beards and 2 mustaches, are you illegal? You're not allowed to play? I mean, what is it going to be? And so we have no rules. And now we just taken no rules and some more no rules. And if everybody likes that, that's good. And I feel bad if a kid came out early. Maybe we shouldn't come out early. Maybe we should do a better job of helping kids make decisions, said decisions they make, and then, oh boy, I made a bad decision, so I'll go back. But the unintended consequences are the kids that are there will now get screwed and not have an opportunity. And then they'll be
where he talked about how Louisville, they're bringing in a guy, London Johnson, who's 21,
Yep.
who played 3 years in the G League. And the G League, folks, is professional basketball. All right.
Yes, it is.
You're not an NBA player, but you are a pro basketball player if you're in the G League. And I just find it absolutely appalling, Uncle Dave. We lived not that long ago where if a donor took a guy out for a slice of pizza, you lost
Oh,
your
yeah.
ability. But now you could be a professional pro basketball player and now leave the G League and now become a college player, an amateur, technically. I mean, this is
Yeah.
just absolutely insane. And Tom Izzo made some great points. He's like, if you're a freshman here at Louisville, you thought maybe I have a great role here. And this guy now comes in, grown man, 21 versus a 17 or 18-year-old kid. And now that's completely undone now. So I think it's just
Yeah.
we're talking now about how the college game's affected. I can't see how you don't sell me on it's just not minor league basketball because that's really what it is now, I think, at this point.
Well, the academic piece is totally gone now. So let's
Yeah,
be honest about
yeah,
that.
right.
And the worst part is this will become a good strategy if this succeeds. Because think about
Absolutely
it.
it will be.
If you're one of these guys, you say, let me go to the G League and see if I'm good enough. And if I don't make it
You have
after a
nothing to
couple of
lose
years,
now. You have nothing to lose now. Yeah.
if I don't make it after a couple of years of making 150, which is what they make in the G League, I believe. You're making 150, great living for a kid out of college, a kid that age, 20 years old, say 19. After 3 years, Ryan Woolley says, you know what? Let me go to the University of Florida. I'll make $5 million a year, and I'll still have eligibility left to go back to the pros. It's the smart move.
It is. It
For
is.
the kid, it's the smart move.
Yeah. I think it was, people could say it was unfair, but it was the reality, though. You were old enough to make the decision if you were 18, if you're like, hey, I'm ready for the NBA, and if I make that leap and it doesn't work out, well, you're shit out of luck now.
Yep.
That's your decision now. But now, like you said, you're playing with house money now. There's nothing to lose. So now you have
No.
a situation. Why would you now go to college now, unless you're getting just such a great bag and you think maybe I do this for a year or two, then go to the NBA? But you're going to have
Scary,
guys
dude.
now that are. I mean, it's like you said. The scary thing is if this works out well, this is going to be a regular thing. This
Oh,
is
yeah,
going
this
to
is
not be
just frightening.
a rare
It's
thing.
really scary. I feel bad because we're just losing the ability to teach and develop players. You're losing that ability, and that's, I hate to say this, and if you've never done it, you don't understand it, so I don't want to fucking hear from anybody. It's fucking something special about making a fucking team and building a fucking team and watching it grow over time. And now that's gone. It's all gone. So now you miss the lessons of what comes of this. Most people don't go make money out of this. Most people aren't good enough to make money out of this. But what they do when they run into you 25 years later is they remember every damn lesson they were taught. If they had a good relationship with their coach, if they had a bonehead coach like you had in high school, it's different. But the bottom line is, if it's a good relationship, it's totally different. Your experience changes your life. And you know what? You might not play basketball for much longer after you leave, but at the same time, you still had a great memories of what you did. You learned life lessons, hard work. That's gone.
Yeah.
All gone now.
Oh yeah, that is, yeah. And that was just an extension in college. You just got more of that what you did in high school. But now, like you said, that's all being undone now. It just in a matter of a few years now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, like you're telling me Draymond Green is Draymond Green if he didn't struggle at Michigan State?
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Draymond has an edge because he got his ass handed to him.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Now,
That's
like
the
you said,
beauty of it.
when a guy faces adversity now, he just thinks, oh, he's hating.
Oh, he's out.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
We said this the other day. There's people already who are going to look to get out.
Right.
And whatever day the portal opens, say April 1st, just for argument's sake, that shit's already going to be full. It's like an hour in.
The
And
whole
the parents promote it.
though, of what made college basketball was recruiting and developing relationships with players. That's all gone now. It's just all about
it's
the portal
gone.
now. We're at the point where you have like Rick Pitino and Tom Izzo saying, like, you're just not looking at now high school kids.
No,
There's
it
no
kills
way.
the recruiting. Yeah, I tell you, I even see it. I even saw it at the Division III level after the pandemic. Because now, like, they gave you that extra year. Everybody got older, which made for great basketball, I felt. Made for mature teams, which I liked because we did have too many people leaving early. But it also took away high school seniors' chance to fucking go play. It's disgusting.
And you made a great point. We talked about it around the tournament time last year. And you have some teams then like Houston where they have 23, 24, 25-year-old guys and Duke is playing with 18 and 19-year-olds. That's a huge edge right there and a huge difference. Those are grown men versus kids.
Yeah, well, every one of Duke's losses last year came to one of the 5 oldest teams in the country.
Right.
That's not a shock. That's not a shock. That's not a coincidence. That's an easy stat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so. I'm afraid the college landscape here. It's just it's such a shame now because high school recruiting now is just completely blown up now. So if you're now entering into college basketball as a freshman, you basically have to redshirt. Is that what we're talking here?
There's the junior college rule now too, where junior college does not count anything off your eligibility. So really, that's the way to go now. And the scary part is nobody knows this yet. No one who's listened to that rule changed. So now nobody's doing this yet. They still have their pie in the sky ideas, but they don't realize if you're 18, you should probably go to junior college because Michigan ain't calling because they got a man already who's 23. You know, and it's just scary. You know, it's just frightening as hell what's going on out there between this and the gambling. And you watch what goes down with the gambling at the small D1 level here with the point shaving. I'm telling you, it's coming. They've already been investigating for several years. Last year, they talked about the patterns of the same teams that lost at epidemic levels at the low D1 level, and their scores were very similar. And the FBI's noticed this pattern. This is not good. This is big trouble.
I think Tom Izzo had a great line in this clip, though. He basically said, "I love my job, but I hate my profession."
So true. I mean, I know that even in the cleaner days of the 90s, I didn't like the recruiting part either because that was even slimy. It's not even a half as slimy as it is now because back then at least you had rules. You know, like trying to like bring it when a kid is on his visit, you're trying to make sure he has all his favorite snacks and all this other stuff. That's not reality in life. So, you know, I always hated that because it was fake. And then all of a sudden the kid gets on campus and, you know, it's like now all of a sudden his name is motherfucker. So, you know, it's a little different, you know, and it's my favorite curse word, but still it's a little different for the kid. Once the recruiting is over, you know, he's out the window.
Right. Yeah. No, it goes from whining and dine. Well, it's like recruiting for the military. They wine and dine you and to tell you everything you want to kind of hear, maybe a little bit. Then you get in there, and then all of a sudden, you're just another guy.
So, and that's the scary part.
But you know, everybody kind of understood that though. The players though, maybe you had some guys that were bent out of at it all throughout time.
Sure.
Guys always said, you know, hey, like I had to go through it. You know, your seniors and juniors were telling your guys who were underclassmen that. So
right, but then you had the veterans there who built the program who said, hey, this is okay. But now we don't have that.
Right.
Now we're not going to have that because we just don't have a chance to do that anymore. Now
and that's a shame because you don't have guys now passing on legacy
Yeah.
and teaching moments. Because think of it, let's just use we're Duke fans, so just when you had Bobby Hurley as a junior and Leitner as a senior, they were passing on wisdom and knowledge to the guys that were the freshmen and the sophomores. It's guys, it's just year to year. It's just like you said, you're microwaving a team. It's just there's no camaraderie whatsoever. There's not guys bleeding and sweating together. It's just there's no way you can convince me that any team that's great now, they're great for now, but they would never be great historically against these other teams that, like you said, they just the camaraderie and the
Well,
cohesiveness that were there was just incredible.
I always look at it like this. Again, we'll use Duke as an example, but in 1986 and 87, they had Tommy Amaker played the point from 84, 85, 86, and 87. Quinn Snyder was like the third guard in that team with Johnny Dawkins and Tommy Amaker. He'd come off the bench and run the point when Amaker got a blow. Amaker didn't need too many blows, but then all of a sudden Amaker leaves in 87 and Quinn Snyder takes him to the Final Four the next year because he had been beaten up every day by Tommy Amaker in practice, and he learned.
Right.
And now people don't realize that about Quinn Snyder, how good a college point guard he was. To see him as an NBA coach. Go back and look at his numbers. Go back and look at how well he ran that team because he was developed in practice every day by getting his ass kicked by Johnny Dawkins and Tommy Amaker. And that's the way it was. And that's why he took that team basically to 2 Final Fours because he knew how to do it. And, it's the same thing that people don't ever put a hand on anymore. And this is, that started to fade a little bit when the freshmen would leave. But now it's just another world. It's scary.
So, someone like Coach Izzo, he's around your age, Uncle Dave, where it's just he's seen basketball when it was at college basketball, at least when it was at its people, many would say, I think you included, would say he saw the best of it. But now he's seeing this where it's a totally whole different world. I just find it funny.
And that's the hard part for older coaches. So like, I'm not affected by it the same way at the high school level.
Right.
But what I'm affected by at the high school level, in a different way than Tom Izzo is the unrealisticness of the parents. So like, your kid can maybe pick up a ball once a week, but that's not college level commitment. That's not college level skill. Again, you're playing Suffolk County basketball here. It's not big time basketball. Suffolk County basketball is not as good as it once was. Rick Pitino used to made a couple of big quotes about that over the years. Go look him up. He talked about how lacrosse would kill basketball in Long Island, and it's kind of been right in some ways. But at the same time, like, it's just not the same level. So I deal with it on a different level, and you still love the game, but it's the things around the game now that have ruined it.
Yes. Yep.
It's not the game itself. You still got to play 94 feet. You still got to put the ball in the hole.
Yep.
But now it's the stuff around the game before you even get to practice is just draining. So, for example, 25 years ago, I come home from a game. I call it into Newsday if I win. I don't if I lose. Now I got to get it on Instagram. I got to get it on my Huddle account. I got to get the stats done. I got to reevaluate this. I got to make sure I call Newsday again.
What the hell?
I swear to God, I need like a 2-hour secretary.
What the? Yeah, it seems like a
I'm
whole
serious.
lot of work.
That's what I do every night. So you ask your Aunt Catherine. When I come home, if I've won the game, I got to do all that.
Jesus Christ!
I got to turn it into Huddle. I got to get the statistics evaluated. I got to do all that. Then I got to like I said, I got to post something on Instagram because that's the whole world now. Then you got to you got to call Newsday. And it's like, I swear to God, I need a secretary.
Coach Izzo jokingly said, he's like, hey, can I call Magic up? Can I call Zach Randolph and Jason Richardson? Could they come back for me?
Magic. I would give anything to watch Magic play again.
But he what he was saying was, it was kind of tongue in cheek, but it was some seriousness to it though. He's like, hey, can I bring all my Michigan State guys back who still have some eligibility?
Well, that's the funny thing. Back in the day at Stony Brook, when we were Division III, we would go play sometimes an NAIA team. So one time we go up to play this team up in Skidmore, and it's this team called McGill University from Canada. They were like an NAIA team at the time. So NAIA, there was no rules. Basically, you could have a 29-year-old man playing center. So they come running out of the locker room. This is Division III Stony Brook. They come running out of the locker room, and they're like 6'10", 6'8", 6'9" across the back. Coach looks at me and goes, holy shit. I mean, we wound up killing him because our guards we had Emeka Smith, who was an All-American. But they were just too slow for us because they hadn't played the American teams yet, but they were like ginormous. They had men.
Right.
No rules back in the NAIA. There was no rules.
Right.
It's the same place that Terry Porter came from and people like that, but there were no rules back then. And this is just, it's just crazy crap. I mean, it's just, it's scary what's going on out there right now. It really is. It's frightening.
Between the gambling, Uncle Dave, and now the NIL in college, it's just a mess out here.
But the sad part is, is the game is still a great game
Oh, we
because
still love to watch, but like you said, it's now all this stuff now surrounding the game. That's a part of the game, not directly involved on the court, but nonetheless, you have to deal with all this stuff now, all this other
yeah, I
stuff.
mean, and so we're missing some really fascinating things going on in the NBA right now. So like, there's 3 teams I was really fascinated to watch this year, and I've been paying attention to them already. And Toronto Raptors were one, the Utah Jazz were another. I mean, I just fascinated to watch those teams right there, and the Charlotte Hornets.
Mhm.
And so the Raptors, got sloppy tonight and they lost the game. But at the same time, like, the Utah Jazz are up, they're 1-0 and they're up in the game right now. And then, of course, we have the other guys here who we just mentioned. I mean, like, it's going to be fascinating to watch the Hornets. The Hornets were 1-0 also. I mean, there's some interesting people down there because there's some big questions. Is the kid Miller for the Hornets going to turn out to be Miller? Because now, Con Knipple looked a little slow on defense the other night, but still had hit some shots. So, like, and then you have the Jazz where you got to watch Ace Bailey there, and Filipowski is starting to get it done a little bit. And then you got, there's some fascinating teams out there. Toronto's got a great front court. Right, you got Ingram, you got Barnes, you got some tough guys in the front court, and they can smack you silly. And then there's, of course, these great fascinations like the Rockets and the Mavericks have the same problem. There's no point guard. So like the other night, Jason Kidd
Dallas.
announces that Cooper Flagg is playing the point. That's the worst thing you could do to that kid because Castle can guard anybody. And Cooper Flagg, I don't care if he's a point or not.
That's the thing. You saw him struggled against those guys because those guys are up in his shit. He doesn't play point guard, so it's just
exactly so
he's not used to.
Jason Kidd doing that. This is not 2K. Like you can't like.
Plus, Shaq and Barkley were talking about it too. They're like, you don't start one of your best players with the ball there because he doesn't end up with the ball at the end of the shot clock.
Exactly, and so they don't have a point guard, and D'Lo doesn't look ready, and it's just hysterical. And then the Rockets, it's funny. I said to myself the other night, what's the tallest lineup in the history of the NBA? The Rockets were it the other night. You realize that?
Yep. Yeah, everything is 6'7" or above. Yeah.
6'10.5" was the average size. And I said to myself, that's the longest team I've ever seen. And look, it didn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a chance to win the game, but certainly if you're anybody playing the Rockets or the Mavericks right now, I'd pick them up full and just get them a 15-second shot clock.
Well, that's what you kind of saw the Thunder and the Spurs do. They kind of picked up half court and played really tight defense, and then they struggled offensively.
Yeah, and I'm packing in a zone right now in Dallas.
Yeah,
Klay Thompson all of a sudden looks old, and you know how much I love Klay.
Right. Yeah. Well, all those playoff seats and everything. Yeah.
And I know you say, well, Uncle Dave, it's early yet, but the West is so deep that starting out 0-2, if you're the Mavericks and the Rockets, who both are 0-2 now,
yep,
that's a problem.
Right. Right.
Now, I know you say, Jesus Christ, there's 80 games left. You're right. But I'm going to tell you right now, besides maybe the Pelicans and the Kings, everybody else is going to be in the mix here for a playoff spot. Maybe not the Suns or the Jazz. Maybe the Jazz later. But so you have all these teams. They got 15 teams in the West. 10 are going to make it. So I'm telling you, you're going to have to go in a 9-10 game if you did off to a crap start.
Yeah.
And right now, it comes down to 1 or 2 games. You know that. And right now, Dallas is 0-2 and Houston's 0-2.
Yeah, there's not a lot of margin for error because you said the West is so deep.
It's so deep. And so you have a situation, in Denver, I have to say, Denver last night, poor coaching job. So how many times we talked about getting Joker some rest? What does he do last night? Joker's playing 40 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell. I know it went into.
What are you doing? What the hell are you doing with this team? You have to sacrifice that for later. Now, Joker shot poorly the other night. A great game, and the Warriors look for real. But the Warriors are going to look for real. We told you. They're going to win over 50 games. I told you this. Bet the over on the Warriors. So I'm going to tell you the gambling tip while we're talking about gambling. Bet the over on the Warriors wins and losses. Now, I don't think they're going to win the championship, but in the regular season, you cannot prepare for them in a 1 or 2 game stretch.
Yeah.
You just can't do it in a 1 or 2 day thing.
Yeah,
have a shoot around.
Yeah,
you can't have a shoot around and prepare.
My concern with them is their front court over the long haul of the season. But,
sure.
Yeah, and I think also Cameron Johnson, he's got to find his rhythm. He was only 2 for 8, so he'll be better, obviously, when he finds. Aaron Gordon was obviously insane.
Then another team that was interesting in a bad way was the Nets because I wanted to see what Porter would do because Porter's not a guy who gets his own shot, but so far he's played pretty well. They're 0-2. They came back on the Cavs tonight. They had a shot, but they lost. The Cavs look a little sluggish on defense. The Knicks are 2-0, 2 solid wins. The Bucks are 2-0, which is shocking, but then again, Giannis is there. In the West, the Spurs defensively is where Wembanyama is the thing that
Yeah, that's scary.
it's the defense. It's not the 40 points for me. It's the effect on the ball on the other end.
He has guys paranoid and having anxiety around the rim. That's the thing that I've noticed. Guys are afraid.
Dude, he had 9 blocks tonight.
Yeah, it's insane.
So he's going to break the block record if he's healthy. But my point is, I always used to tell you, we had great John Coop. John Coop will block 6, 7 shots a game, but it's the 10 that he doesn't get.
Right, exactly. Altering the shot.
The guy goes in there and just flicks the shit up in the basket.
Right. It's like in football, quarterback pressures. All right, you don't get the sack, but the pressures are huge though too.
It's huge. It makes a person do what they don't want.
Yeah.
And so we got some bad starts here. The Pacers had a chance last night. They're 0-1 right now. The Celtics look really bad.
Double overtime.
We knew that was coming. They'll be talking about getting rid of Brown, which is insane. The Pelicans, Zion looks back, but he's 0-2. Luka looks good, but the Lakers still can't guard me. Memphis had a real clunker. Atlanta doesn't play any D, so I'm still not happy with them. I mean, but the East is going to be interesting. The Wizards got to win tonight versus the Mavs. The Wizards got some players. It's going to be interesting. The Orlando Magic have not looked good 2 games straight. The Heat are 1-1 somehow with nobody on the team except for Bam. And the Sixers are 1-0, so that's a happy thing.
Norman Powell had a good game the other night.
Who's that?
Norman Powell. He had a nice game.
Yep. So tonight Cooper Flagg was better. He had 18, 7, and 6. But again, still not perfect.
He just needs reps all day. That's the only thing with him. He just needs put him out there and just let him do it. That's all.
What's going to happen with him is you're going to see him up there in steals in the league because he anticipates very well. But my point is the Wemby thing with the blocks is the key. Forget about the 40 points. It's the other crap. It just changes the whole. Like if you when they get the Aaron Fox back.
Well, that's what I was telling you. That's what I was telling you.
Him and Castle might be the best defensive backcourt you're ever going to see in your life.
Yeah, it's just going to be scary. And then, like you said, they're great defenders in their own right. And then you get by them. And then you have the 7'5" beanstalk protecting the rim. I just don't see how you score on these guys, especially when you get into postseason play. It's just going to be, I think, extremely difficult.
I'd also have some tongue-in-cheek things to say. We have guys missing games to the Knicks already. Is it still Tom Thibodeau's fault?
All right, now. Well, we'll see what happens with them.
Is it load management already Tom Thibodeau's fault? And then the Cavs really still banged up. Missing DeAndre Hunter.
Darius Garland.
Missing Garland. And Jesus, how could this happen? How does this happen?
Well, that's what I was thinking. How do we have so many guys that are out to begin the season? LeBron's not on the floor. It's just, I don't understand this for season opener.
LeBron tomorrow will complain he's not in the MVP discussion. Yeah. Bottom line is this is just insane. How does this happen? You have a whole month training camp. Once the guy turns an ankle halfway through, you shut him down and you work him back in practice, and that's it. So, and again, we talked about this. There's not a big margin, and right now Cleveland looks average. Mm-hmm. And I thought Kenny Atkinson blew the Knicks game, and I love Kenny Atkinson. You know that. But they cut that game to 1 point. Donovan Mitchell goes off. He gets him out at the end of the third quarter, and he leaves him there until about 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the game got away again. Can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't leave him there for 5 minutes while the game goes from 1 point to 15.
Right. Yeah.
Who's on the bench over there? Who's on the bench with him being an assistant?
Right, yeah. Twiddling their thumbs.
I mean, what are these guys getting paid for? They're getting paid handsomely, too. Give me the gig.
We talked about it the other night, and you make a great point for him being Rookie of the Year. VJ Edgecombe just the other night.
Oh, my God. I told you.
No
He's going to be Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, no one can
He won't be Rookie of the Year because Cooper's not going to score enough. And this is still a scoring world. Edgecombe is going to, the nights that Embiid doesn't play, it's going to be Edgecombe because Kane is out. He's still out. I don't know how long Kane's going to be out for.
When they get healthy, though, Uncle Dave, Maxey, McCain, and Edgecombe, just put them out there and just let them go to work. Jesus.
But the fact that McCain is going to be out for a while, Edge is going to have to score. Now, Edge's jump shot is inconsistent.
Right.
But him and Maxey together, that's a quick backcourt.
His explosiveness, though, that's just stuck out to me. And you know how this goes, Uncle Dave. You've seen this enough where guys are good in college, but they get to the NBA and their game just opens up. I feel like he's going to be one of those guys.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, he's a guy that's let off the leash. Yeah, he's
guys that, Anthony Edwards, Michael Jordan. You've seen guys like that. Where
Michael Jordan, you could do things to him in college. Couldn't do that anymore.
Right, exactly. Then you get to the NBA, they just go to another level. Yeah, Bernard King, another guy, good in college, the NBA, and explodes.
I mean, I want to see how good my Nuggets do, though. That's the thing I'm really worried about. I was not happy with that Nugget game. I'm very, I know it's early, like we said, but there's some teams that have really been disappointing already. That Nugget loss. I mean, I know they lost to the Warriors, but still, I mean, to me, the Clippers look like crap the other night. I don't know what the hell they're smoking. I mean, there's not a lot of defense going on out there right
Well, we
now.
talked about it. The East, it comes down to, we think, 4 teams there. But the West, I mean, you don't have 10, 15 games to play with here. You can't
No, you don't.
start out 5-10. Season might be done at that point.
Yep, and Trey Young still volume shooting, 7 for 18 tonight, but they won, so we'll give him a credit. Banchero not off to a good start here. Very surprised about this. He's had 2 mediocre games in a row, 4 for 15 tonight, and I love Banchero. You know how much I love him. Wagner's been their guy so far. Desmond Bain has been average. The guy who really looks like he's struggling, though, has been Clay, and I love Clay, but he does not look good so far.
He's stiff. It's all those postseason, those, Uncle Dave, those postseason games, those stretches they've had where he's played a couple extra seasons.
And that's why I never understood how Ginobili never got tired.
Yeah, he was a freak. Yeah, he was absolutely a lunatic.
Yep,
because he was playing not only the whole regular season, all the postseasons that they had, a lot of times going to the finals or the Western Conference Finals, and then playing for Argentina. Just absolutely insane.
Yeah, very, very, just an amazing player.
Let's get on Uncle Dave these projected wins here for these teams here. All right.
Yes. I love over-unders. Over-unders are huge for me.
So, Uncle Dave, number 1, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder, projected 59 wins. Under or over?
I'm going to say under because the West is so tough.
I'm going to say over just because of the fact that they're a young team, and I think they're hungry to try to prove themselves. So, regular season, I think they're going to be giving an A+ effort. Now, obviously, barring injury, you don't have much room for error there. They still don't know Jalen Williams. And the first team, Uncle Dave, to start both their games with wins, double overtime, both games.
Yeah, but that's why I also felt the double overtime. Everybody's going to get their best game versus them. That's why I feel that it's hard to win that many games. But right. I hope you're right because I like OKC. They play the right way.
At number 2, Uncle Dave, we have the Warriors with 56.
I think they're going to go on. I think they're going to be right on the dot.
Right, I think so too. Yeah,
because you're due for a Draymond suspension. You're due for a Steph ankle.
Right.
Kuminga, you got to see if he's engaged.
Oh, how about let's talk about that, Uncle Dave, real quick, because we talked about it actually last season. Steve Kerr just totally was not playing Jonathan Kuminga and blackballed him. And you were talking about it. You're like, I'm sorry, 6'8", athletic with a good shooting touch. I'm sorry, that could fit my system, whatever I'm playing. So, yeah. Steve Kerr, I don't know what the hell that was last year, but Jonathan Kuminga has been absolutely impressive for the Warriors so far.
Well, don't forget, the Warriors are so small, you got to use him for his length.
Mm-hmm. And his athleticism, yeah.
If nothing else, use him for his length. Now, maybe he's a prick, went out there at practice every day, but Jesus Christ, this is the NBA, man.
You got to play him. Right, exactly. Not everybody has a choir boy personality, right?
Yeah, it's time to win games. Right now, Portland's about to beat Golden State. Now, how the hell does that happen?
Yeah, after a big emotion.
How does that happen? You got to be kidding me.
Plus, Uncle Dave, the Chauncey Billups thing, Tiago Splitter's coaching them tonight.
I love Tiago Splitter. He's a great player. I loved him.
Tiago Splitter coaching the Blazers tonight for the interim head coaching position there. So the Blazers, that'd be a wild 24 hours for them, right? Your head coach in the illegal gambling allegations there in the poker games, and now you have Tiago Splitter maybe getting his first win as a head coach. So
here we go. The Warriors are already going to be down 56.
I'm going to say Uncle Dave under on the 56 for the Warriors. I think
you better. They're going to be 1-1 in about a minute.
They're an older team. They're definitely a veteran older team. Yep, they're going to be 1-1 in a minute. And I think anytime they have a situation where they have to a 50-50 on a guy playing, they're going to sit them. Doesn't matter if it's Al Horford, Steph, or Jimmy Butler. So I think the long, grueling, you know how the season goes in the NBA, guys get sick, guys get banged up. I see them finishing under 56. And for them, they don't care about that. You have such a veteran team. You're not concerned with home court or anything. You're just concerned with getting into the playoffs healthy. So I'm going to say definitely under for the Warriors with the 56 wins there.
And by the way, Scott Henderson still hasn't entered the game yet. Scoot Henderson.
That, I'm afraid, might be an Anthony Bennett situation there. How are you already in your second year and is just not playing at all there?
I don't know, dude. This is scary for me. I don't know what the two foreign guys lit up the Warriors tonight. I mean, we got Tumani Kamara and Denny Avdija. They lit them up tonight.
Yeah, no one knows who they are.
No. Maybe bet the Blazers over. The Blazers are going to be 1-1. Let's bet them the over.
Number 3, I believe, we have the Nuggets with 52. Under or over?
Over. Nuggets going to be over.
I'm going to say over as well. I like the pieces they added. You have Cameron Johnson added to the roster. Bruce Brown.
I'm nervous about Adelman, though. I'm nervous.
David Adelman, it might be too big for him, you think?
No, I'm just nervous that he already didn't, he got 12 minutes for Zubac for the backup. I mean, come on, dude.
Yeah, you have to
commit to it.
Yeah.
You must commit to it.
Valanciunas, I would like to see him closer to 20.
Me too.
And he's a proven guy. He's a veteran guy. He's a good player. You put him out there. My goodness. That's
You,
why
you
they
tell
got him, right?
Joker, you tell Joker, listen, you're playing 36 minutes. You can choose the minutes.
Right.
But once in a while, we'll play with the big guy. We'll
And you
go high
save
and
him.
low.
You save him for winning time late in the fourth quarter. But
Exactly.
you have set minutes for this guy, no matter what
You
happens.
sit him. You sit him between 3 minutes left in the first quarter to 9 minutes in the second quarter.
Right. Yeah, so we agree on that, Uncle Dave, with the Nuggets being over 52. I love the depth of their team now. And Cameron Johnson, once he gets it going, they're going to be really tough to beat. And Aaron Gordon the other night was just incredible.
Yeah.
So I like them as well with the over 52. We got the Clippers, Uncle Dave, at 49. Under or over?
That's a tough one. They're already 0-1. I don't know, because I'm afraid that's the oldest team in the NBA, are they not?
It is, yeah. The oldest team in NBA history.
But I think Harden is still just so out of shape that he doesn't get hurt. So, I think they'll win over 59.
49, Uncle Dave. 49.
49.
Yeah,
49,
I'm gonna bet on the under on that. I think Kawhi mentally, I just don't trust it. James Harden another year older, and Bradley Beal. I love Zubac. I think he's an excellent player.
Me too.
They definitely. I think there'll be a team that is interesting in the postseason, but their best players, they're a little unreliable for my liking here. But they're a team that obviously they're talented enough they could beat anybody. But we'll see. But I'm going to say the under for the Clippers on the 49 there.
I'm just grabbing my charging cord as well as we go up the stairs here.
All
Who
right.
else is on the next? Who's the next team up?
At number 5, we have the Rockets with 47. Under or over?
I'm going over.
I'm going to say over as well. They're 0-2 currently, but I I like them for the over as well there. Kevin Durant obviously just still an amazing talent. I think Amen Thompson, they're a really talented team from top to bottom here. I love Clint Adams on the front line there. Clint Capella. They're going to be and Jabari Smith has really impressed me too. He's a really nice player, I think, as well. So I'm going to say and Udoka is a very good coach.
I love Udoka. He's my favorite. You know that.
So I think I agree with you on the over for the Houston Rockets there. The Los Angeles Lakers at 46.
Oh, very much over.
I agree with you. I like the over for them as well because let's be honest too, on the 50-50 calls, the Lakers will be certainly getting those.
Yep, and Luka looks motivated.
Yeah, he's lost 30 pounds. He looks really good.
Maybe he'll only have 5 beers a day. He's good.
Right. Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura. Another year of just them on the team together. I think they'll be very good.
Sure.
But again, we'll see. God knows when LeBron gets on the floor.
Oh God, yeah.
See what happens with that there.
It'll be all about him.
Right. I am not sure as far as the timetable for LeBron James there, but yeah, Luka Doncic is definitely going to be an MVP type form. So I like them for sure on the over for the 40.
I think they said LeBron 3 or 4 weeks, right?
Yeah, he'll be back sometime in November. When, we don't know, but he'll be back sometime then. I think the Lakers, if they go 500 or close to that, a couple games over, they'll be happy with that.
We bitching why he's not in the MVP voting.
Well, we talked about it too, Uncle Dave, last, I don't know how many shows ago, but about the NBA. This is the one good rule that Adam Silver has implemented where if you don't play at least 65 games, you're excluded from any type
Love
of
it.
I think that's a great rule.
I love it.
So
it's funny. All the players on the NBA radio always bitch about that rule. I'm like,
and what do you think of DeAndre Ayton, Uncle Dave? I think you just have to throw him the ball and try to get him some confidence and get him going because if you have a good post presence on that team, they could be very interesting.
You know what's scary about him? We've talked about this before, and I hate to use these examples over and over again, but here's a guy who was averaging 16 and 10, and somebody decided he sucked. It's like Kelly Tripucka averaging 22 a game for 5 or 6 years in a career, and somebody decided he sucked. So, where do you get to decide somebody sucks? Go look up DeAndre Ayton.
He's too talented. Yeah, he's just way too talented.
He didn't start to go down. Someone just sat him down. So, he goes from Phoenix, where they go to the finals. I think he's averaging 16 and 10. And for his career, I don't know what it is now because it's probably sucked. But if you look at him when he's getting minutes, he's double-double machine. And certainly a double-double is not great if you're Angel Reese. But at the same time, this guy's a legit double-double because he doesn't miss 35 layups. So this guy, someone decided he sucked all of a sudden. I don't know where that came from. So like he's a good player. So like I don't know what else you want. That team is has enough height, but this guy can block a shot.
Yeah. 7
And
foot
with
athletically.
their lack of foot speed on the perimeter, besides Marcus Smart, they're going to need him to block a shot.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That was the one thing we talked about with them. They needed a front court presence. I think he could
Yeah,
actually be that guy. He can. I think he's talented enough. There's no doubt.
that's why I know this sounds blasphemous, but that's why LeBron should play the four on his team.
He should. Yeah.
I mean, he's not great on the perimeter, so let him be like more of a help side guy because at
Right.
least he understands the game.
Right.
I mean, I don't want him defending the 1 and the 2 right now. He's not going to be able
No.
to do that.
No, he
Maybe
doesn't. He
maybe
doesn't
he's
have the
smart
foot.
enough to read and cheat off the 4.
Right.
I mean, plus he's big and strong. We know how strong he is. I mean, God knows if he puts a body on someone, he's going to get the rebound.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a great point you make there. I think if you play LeBron at stretch 4 there, I think that gives them their best chance of winning, I think.
Yeah, because then he can trail. B, he can like give help side. I mean, good God. I mean, like, you want him chasing like fucking De'Aaron Fox around the perimeter on a switch? I don't.
Yeah, there's no way you want that. Right. You want
Want
LeBron.
him chasing Castle on a switch? Well, you just watch how
No.
good Castle's going to be.
No. And I don't know, Uncle Dave, where you stand. Like Dalton Connect, what do you think is going on there? Do you think that is
I think
just
they got too many Dalton connects.
right?
You got the other. You got the other guy. You just
Yeah,
signed the other guy to the extension. You got. He's the same player.
right.
I
They
mean,
got some
Jesus
nice
God.
pieces. I mean, I like Gabe Vincent. I think he's a nice winning player. Jackson Hayes. I think they could do something there. I think.
My whole thing is this. Back in history, we always had the argument. Well, what would have happened if Portland took Jordan? And the reason they didn't, as a person who was alive then, is because they said they already had that spot.
Yeah,
Now,
Clyde Drexler, right?
taking the same player twice can really be great if you have some foresight, and it can really be bad. So, for example, having 2 slow-footed guys on the perimeter that can't defend is not a good example. Having Clyde Drexler or Michael Jordan is a good example.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So, like, you're going to have these 2 guys on the perimeter who can't guard a soul. All right, that's a problem.
Mhm.
Like, so, and you already have Luka and LeBron out there with him. So, what are you going to do?
Right.
Like, whose minutes is he going in for?
No, it
I mean,
makes sense
so
when you put it that way. You're going to play Marcus Smart over him in that situation. Then you have to.
Marcus Smart is a stud. I mean, plus
Yeah,
Rudy Hachimura looks pretty good.
he does. Yeah.
I've always loved Rudy. I thought he doesn't get used enough. Just my opinion, but I thought Rudy is a better athlete and a better player than he gets credit for. But again, maybe he just doesn't produce when he gets the chance.
Yeah. So I think, yeah, he's just Dalton Connect. Obviously, I think he's a talented offensive player, but you're going to go with Gabe Vincent, who's a veteran ahead of him. It's just, I don't think he breaks into
Yeah,
the lineup. I think, honestly, yeah, that's
yeah.
just.
I mean, Austin Reeves right now with 23 points tonight.
No, he's too talented. You're not sitting him at
Luka's
all.
got 38. Rudy's got 19. There's no defense in this game. I mean, the Timberwolves look like they're on vacation.
Right.
I mean, Jared Vanderbilt, who everybody in the Facebook groups would tell you how great this kid is going to be. I told you he was going to suck. He hasn't done a damn thing for the Lakers. I mean, but yeah. So Dalton Connect has played 4 minutes tonight. Now, who's he going in for?
Yeah.
Stop. He's not.
Right.
He's never
Yeah.
going to help you.
Not going to happen, right?
It's a bad decision.
At number 7, we have the Grizzlies, Uncle Dave, with 45. Under or over?
Oof. I don't trust that team.
Yeah, I
I
say
just
under.
don't trust it. They
I
looked
have
like
under.
shit the other night. I mean, I don't trust them. I don't know. I assume with with the stud being back, but they're one bad phone call away from the police of having no season at all. I
Yeah.
mean, they looked like absolute crap tonight. I mean, the Heat scored 146 on them.
Yeah, and how many? That probably the Heat won't do that again the rest of the season.
No, the Heat, don't have enough people if you lock them alone in the gym to get 146. So I don't know. I mean, like, are they going to play hard? I just don't. I just don't see it.
Yeah,
I
they added Caldwell Pope. They have Ty Jerome on the team. I just there's something
just
wrong
don't
with them,
see
though.
the glue.
Yeah,
I don't see any glue guys. Zach Edey's a quiet kid.
right.
Ty Jerome's not good enough for that. He's a quiet kid. John Morant, Scottie Pippen Jr. So this means John Morant is the leader of your team. That's not good.
Oh, no.
Desmond Bain was the leader for years.
Yeah,
right?
he's
You
gone
also
now.
have Jackson obviously is
Jared Jackson,
he's still a stud. Obviously, he's the best player on the team, but
Cam
your leader
Spencer.
is still John Morant, and that should
Right.
make you concerned.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, especially in the West being grueling, I just see them on the outside looking in for sure. There's no way
Yeah,
I'm playing 45.
I mean, they'll have a chance with their talent. Ja will go off and make some highlight reels. Everybody will tell you how he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but consistency is the mark of greatness.
The next team we have the Minnesota Timberwolves, Uncle Dave, at 44. Under
I
or
think
over?
they'll be over. I'd surprised their number is that low because 44 means you went 44 and 38. Uh, I'm surprised by that. I know that, like we said, the West is very deep. I still think the T Wolves will go over 44.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that's a low number for them. If that number was closer to 50, then I would say under, but
Yeah,
4 for sure. I think I see them. I just think when you let's be honest, it's a star-driven league. All right, Anthony Edwards is just too good. There's going to be just too many nights where he just takes over and says we're winning tonight.
yeah,
So you have Alexander Walker. I like him as a player. I just think overall, and plus their head coach is a solid guy, Finch. So I think that they're poised to at least win that many games. I think for sure.
sure.
The Dallas Mavericks, Uncle Dave, 44 for them as well, under or over.
I think if they don't make a trade for like a good steady backup, they're gonna lose. They're gonna go under. But I think I think if they make a deal soon, I don't know who's available now though. That's the problem. If they would make a deal, I think they could go over. But I tell you, D'Angelo Russell is not the guy you want running the show there.
Right.
But Cooper Flag is not ready to be the point guard. He's this dribble. He's still too high of a dribble to do that job.
Well, too high of a dribble, Uncle Dave. But like you said, the guy's 6'10", right? So you can't the guy
And
like
the other
that.
guy, and don't forget, he is actually the youngest player in the NBA.
Yeah.
He's not even 19 yet.
Right.
So he won't turn 19 for another 2 months. So the bottom line is, I got to go under because they're already 0-2.
Right. And Kyrie Irving, we have no idea when he gets back, and it's going to
No.
take some time for him to break in.
Yep.
So I think the Mavericks, by the end of the season, they could be cooking and really a hot team, I think, and really could have a chance to make a deep run in the playoffs. But
I tell you what, though, their length and Houston's length on the backboard is scary.
it is.
I mean, I'm sorry, you got to find an assistant. If I have one of my 35 assistants on that staff, I tell him, listen, I got a job for you. I want you to go think of some kind of zone that we could play with this length. Because if they did that with Lively in the back, Lively's a great shot blocker. He's got great feet. He's got great lateral movement. Anthony Davis can read. I mean, we got Cooper Flag there.
You have 3 guys at 6'10" or above on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, Klay Thompson, you got Washington. Everybody's 6'7" or above.
Right.
So this is probably the second biggest lineup of all time. That's a scary situation. Them and Houston have so much ability. You just feel like it's almost like a divine comedy from like Shakespeare or something. This is like,
well, I was joking with you what you said, what you used to do at NBA Live, what you said with the all-time teams. You said you would take, Yao Ming and Kevin Garnett, and you'd put them, the West All-Stars, you'd put them at the top of a zone, stretch their arms out.
I put Kevin Garnett at the top. You have the 3-2.
Yeah. And that's what, if you saw the Rockets and the Thunder game, that's what they were doing. They were playing zone with 2 guys stretching their arms out there and making, funneling the ball to certain areas on the floor. And they didn't win the game, but I look at it interesting.
Because they're so long and talented. I just feel like the world is being cheated right now because we don't have a point guard. Now, I even told you before Van Vliet got hurt. That wasn't enough. So, it's such, I'm just so disappointed that you're a GM, you have Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis, and you don't go say to yourself, all right, Kyrie got hurt. We knew about this last year. We got to go find a point guard.
Right.
So all summer league long, you find a first or second year player that looks steady. You find him and you get him. Or you watch every goddamn G League film you could get your hands on from last year. We've had so many guys have success from the G League. Like, you got to come up with something better than what you got right now.
Right.
And same with Houston.
You give John Wall a call. You give John Wall a call or something like that.
Yeah, like Van Fleet just got hurt, so I could deal with that. But Jesus Lord, like how if you're down, I mean, this is where Nico Harrison shows you that he's really just an idiot. I mean, I don't mind the Luka deal as much as everybody else, but he got lucky with Cooper Flag and he got a rebirth, and then he goes and doesn't get a point guard.
Yeah. That's some bad GMing right there, honestly.
I mean, what the hell are we doing?
And you knew D'Angelo Russell's not that guy. He's not going to be a floor general.
No, he's a freaking idiot. He's a guy that just wants to ruin the freaking team. Oh my God, he'd drive you freaking crazy, that guy.
You would die right now if you were the Mavericks for like a Luke Ridnour or a Jose. They're on just someone steady to run the floor.
Ricky Rubio.
Yeah. I guess a solid guy to be a floor.
Ricky Rubio, for Christ's sake. That's all we're asking.
Right. Or like veteran.
Go get the freaking tool bag from Carolina. What was that jackass from Carolina who played in the league all these years? Go get that guy. That idiot Lawson. Go get Ty Lawson.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to this roster's point guards here. Caleb Martin can't play the point. Maybe Nemhard should play the point. They got to give it to Nemhard. I would tell Nemhard now, say, listen, bro, you're only 22, but I'm giving you the ball.
Right.
You got to learn how to play this spot. He's got to learn it. He just has to do it because we got no choice right now.
Or like a guy who's in the league right now, like a Dennis Schroeder. You'd die for a guy like that, right?
Oh my God! Like but
Yeah.
you got to comb it. In the summer league, you can find a player or two that's a steal. Like in the G League, you could find a player easily. Like you got to do the work. Go back and watch every. Maybe they did this. I doubt it though. You have 8 million people on your staff. Watch every G League point guard. And bottom line is, all you got to do is
You're gonna
type
find
it in,
one.
and it orders itself up.
You're gonna find one, right?
You say point guard highlights, enter. You don't even have to look. It comes up.
It's funny because everybody talks about now how the NBA is positionless basketball. Well, that's proving not to be
No, it's
entirely
not true.
It's not entirely true. You need a guy who is a primary ball handler, I think, on most teams, unless you're uniquely a unique type of team, where you have like a point forward, like with the Warriors with Steph and Draymond Green. But most teams are not like that. So, but again, they're very unique because you're dealing with, a great passer and a great screener and Draymond Green and the best shooter of all time and Steph Curry. So you really can't use them as an example. So most teams, I think, though, need a floor general. I think that's proving with the Rockets and the Mavericks.
Oh,
Both,
it's such
it's a
a
void.
disservice to us to
It's
not
a
have the
void
point guard.
because you're telling me that the Rockets are not a extremely better team with Fred VanVleet at the point. They are.
They win that
They
game
are.
the other night versus the
Right.
Warriors.
Yeah,
They win
exactly.
that game versus
Yeah.
the Thunder because Van Vliet gets them into offense. Like Şengün's going to be a beast, though.
Oh yeah, he's scary. Yeah, he's a stud.
He's a beast.
The next team, Uncle Dave, we have the Sacramento Kings at 44 again for them.
I can't believe they got as high as 44. Who's telling me the Kings are as good as the T-Wolves? I'm going under.
Yeah, I'm going to say under 2. I do think they've made some interesting moves. So they have Dennis Schroeder added to the roster.
I am rooting for them, though.
You have
I like
Zach,
the Kings.
yeah, you have Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. So they're an interesting team in Sabonis, but I think that again we've talked about it. The Western Conference is just it's not that the Kings I think are not a good team, but you just have so many teams that are good in the West. Someone's going to be on the outside looking in. So
Yeah, I'm rooting hard for them, though. I always like the Kings franchise, and
yeah,
it's something that I respect. I'm rooting hard for them.
yeah. So them at 44, I don't see that happening there. I think we should bet heavily on this, Uncle Dave. The Spurs at 40.
Oh, God, that's way over. Way over.
Yeah, I agree. I see them closer to like 52, 53 wins.
I see them closer to 60. You see how good Harper is?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, just look at the draft. So you get Wembanyama and Harper the last 2 years, and Castle. So, people laugh and they go Warriors, 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 KD. But look what the Warriors did: Clay, Steph, and Draymond. All right, you drafted them all. Look at these drafts. Now Wemby's an easy one, but Harper and Castle that high was an easy pick. To the 60.
Also, Uncle Dave, you have I know some people would probably dismiss this pickup, but a guy like Luke Cornett, who's a veteran, I mean, that helps you as well on the front line there.
Sure does.
And Vassell and De'Aaron Fox and Harper, and I just think that they're so deep. And again, you have another guy who's a proven veteran in Harrison Barnes. I mean, I just don't see any weaknesses on this team. And you have also a guy who could come in for you in Bismack Biyombo, who's a veteran as well. So you have a good blend of veteran leadership on this team with young talent, which is the ultimate concoction for a very good team. So I think
you see Giannis's game tonight, man. 20 rebounds, 7 assists, 31 points. I tell you what, the Bucks put a ton of shooting around him.
Yeah, well, that's a smart move on their part. That's how you have
Turner and Trent, and then you got Bobby Portis is still there. Kuz still has some basketball left, and Cole Anthony's just going to get better.
Yep. So
here you have all these shooting around him. They go out tonight, and they shoot the crap out of it. They shoot 52% from the floor. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I think that's that's what you're supposed to do if you're a GM, especially with no Lillard this year. So they had to.
That's good. That's good GMing. That's good GMing right there.
We'll move on, Uncle Dave, to the next team here, the Blazers. They're projected at 36.
I got to go under because I don't know if they're going to recover from this. I hope they do because I think it's a good organization, but I'm not
Yeah.
familiar enough with the two foreign kids to say, if they're going to win more than 36 or not. I can't believe the number's that high in the West, because 36 means, you're 36 and 46. You're not that far out of it. But, I just don't think they have enough.
Yeah, you lost also Anthony Simons last year, who is now on the Celtics.
Yep.
So yeah, you lost your best player last year. So I think that there's just going to be too much retooling and just trying to figure out who they are this year.
Yeah.
You're just
It's
obviously
awful.
if you're the Blazers, you're just looking to be as competitive as you can be at as many games, and it's really not about the wins total this year. It's just about having guys build
Sure.
build some cohesiveness, some camaraderie, and see what you have at the end of the season, what you can do in free agency, and then in the draft. So it's just about putting one step forward at a time here and just getting better day to day. That's if you're a Blazer fan, that's what you're looking at probably for this
Yeah,
season.
absolutely.
Because the West, like we said, it's just a brutal, brutal fucking conference.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Yeah.
I think that the Kings will score. I think that the Blazers will score.
Yeah.
But you just don't know if there's enough size there and if there's enough defensive foot speed and things of that nature and enough commitment to it. So those are two teams that are kind of in the same boat. I think the Kings are obviously a little more talented, but I think they're both in the same boat in this regard, where you just don't know enough. There's a lot of unknowns there, even though the Kings have some veterans. Like I said the other day, I just don't know if Sabonis is going to be big enough to hold down the fort in a situation like that.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, with Sacramento, yeah. And then we have Uncle Dave. We have the Suns at 35.
I think they're going to be better than that. Man, I think they're going to win like 37 or 38. I think Booker's going to go off this year. I just don't know if they have a lot of wins in them, but more than that. But I do think that sometimes these teams, like we said the last week, if you find a way to get one of these teams that maybe get some believers, get some believers on the squad there, where you play like a 1.5 man superstar team there, and like I'm thinking that Mark Williams is going to have a really nice year for them. Malawach is going to be better than people think. Ryan Dunn is a great defender. Grayson Allen's is a beast. He's like a mean dude. Kobe Bryant can really shoot the hell out of it if he comes along. There's some interesting pieces there. Colin Gillespie is a good backup point guard. It's like there's some pieces there. Jalen Green obviously is talented enough. I mean, there's some pieces there. I mean, it's not a great team, but there are some pieces there where if you're a good coach, you get a good staff, and you can make a good rotation, and you make sure that Booker is getting his minutes and his shots, and you could find a way to maybe get Kobe Bryant or Dylan Brooks to stay out of trouble. Dylan Brooks especially to stay out of trouble, and Ryan Dunn is one of the best defenders in the league already. So there's some pieces there. It's not great pieces, but
Yeah, Royce O'Neal, a nice player I like as well.
yeah, there's some game management basketball players there who can understand that. Now, we're not familiar enough with Coach, so we have to see. But like, if you had a Hubie Brown with this team, he'd win 40 games with them.
Yeah, so I think it's
Yes.
all about, like you said, just trying to maximize these guys. Like they're kind of in between. I think the Suns. It's like you're expecting more of them than like the Blazers this year, but you're not expecting them obviously to be a top 10 team in the West though either. So
Well, that's a problem though. Like, you're stuck in purgatory, like we talked about with the Bulls.
yeah.
But this team has some depth in the front court. Mark Williams is a great shot blocker.
Mhm.
He's got to stay healthy. Malawach is going to be a fantastic shot blocker. And then you got to ask yourself, can I get something out of like Isaiah Livers, who's like 6'6", can shoot a little bit. Can I get something out of Hayes Davis? He's not a bad player. Jalen Green's only 23 years old. Can I get something out of these guys? Can I get something out of Dunn? Is Brooks going to be a jackass, or can he be a leader for a change? Grayson Allen's now a veteran. So, I mean, like, you got to ask yourself, what can I get out of these guys?
Next circle, Dave. I think this is extremely low. I can't believe this. The Pelicans at 33. I don't know what the hate on the Pelicans. My goodness.
Well, the Pelicans roster is just bizarre, though. Like,
Yeah.
when you sit there and you look at the Pelicans roster, you sit there and you say to yourself, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Like what's the goal with this roster? I don't know what the goal
Jordan
is.
Poole.
It's confusing.
Yeah.
The Pelicans roster is bizarre. Let's check out their roster right here. So let's scroll here, see what the Pelicans did tonight. Like, I mean, I know they got Zion, but even the other night he didn't do crap the other night. So I mean, they played a good game versus Spurs tonight. So let's give them some credit. Herbert Jones, 0 for 8, starting 2 guard. Zion Williams, Troy Murphy, good night. Jordan Poole, I don't trust anymore.
I like Jeremiah Fears.
Yeah, Sadiq Bey I thought would be better than he is by now, but maybe Derek Queen. Great night tonight. Kid from Maryland. Jose Alvarado's an overachiever, but only plays 3 minutes tonight for some goddamn reason. Jeremiah Fears played well tonight. Andre Jordan just signed with them, if you remember that the other day.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
You got Hunter Dickinson. We'll see. So that's a really bad roster as far as NBA teams go. Like, we all can find decent things about every one of those players, but as far as NBA talent goes, that's one of the lesser talented rosters right there. Especially if Zion goes down or needs a day.
Well,
for
I think that's kind of what we're talking about with their projected wins. I think they're
Yeah.
projecting a Williamson, out for at least a third of the season type of thing, which
Yeah.
I understand that. But if Zion plays mostly, let's say Zion plays 65, 70 games, I like them on that over mark there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is tough.
And Jordan Hawkins, does he become a really nice player off the bench for you? I don't know. We'll see.
Sure. I mean, this is a real problem because you got to trust the health, and the NBA is notorious for load management and things of that nature. But Trey Murphy's obviously done some good things in his life. I mean, with his career, he's not bad. I mean, there's some players there, but is Sadiq Bey going to ever step up and show something? Is Zion ever going to give you 70 games for a change? I mean, if you could do that, maybe you can hang around 40 wins. But if not, I feel you're scraping 30.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it all depends, right? I really think it comes down, Uncle Dave, how much Zion Williamson's playing. I really do.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's you're scraping 30 wins without him.
Because we've talked about him, but he did lose weight this offseason, and when he does play, he does put up numbers. He
puts up historic numbers. There's no denying that.
Yeah. I mean, he's impressive when he's on the floor. He does produce. I mean, he does.
And here's the other thing:
he scores, he rebounds, he assists, he does it all.
The wins losses total is so hard to predict today, more than ever, because just look at these scores tonight. So the Suns are 1-0, Clips are 0-1, and the Clips are about to beat them by 32. I would love to go back and research in the NBA for 50 years straight the average margin of victory in the NBA. I would be willing to bet you it's higher today than before.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason for that is the effort and just the unpredictability of human beings playing sports now. So like tonight, the Blazers are beating the Warriors by 22. Now listen, the Warriors are not as good as the 85 Celtics or the 85 Lakers or 86 Celtics or the 87 Lakers. We know that. Or the 83 Sixers. But the 83 Sixers weren't getting blown by a shit team at the bottom of the league by 22 points.
Especially the second game of the season?
Exactly. And you had full rest here. So, it's just bizarre.
Hey, they didn't have to travel. They went from Golden State to Portland here.
Exactly. And now the Clips are up 32 on the Suns. Now, what is going on here? So, I'm just saying to you, the Heat scored 146 on the Grizzlies. So here's my point. I'm sorry. I hate to say this, but the league is not full of total effort anymore. It just isn't.
Yeah, no, it's not.
And even the guys now on NBA radio, I don't know how much you listen to NBA radio, but it's a great product. There's some guys on here.
Yeah, I'm serious. It's good, yeah.
Most of them are pretty good. NBA radio is a great product, but the bottom line is even some of those guys are starting to admit now that effort is like a skill now.
Right.
Whereas it used to be a requirement. So you say to yourself, how does that happen? So there's just no way. The T-Wolves letting 121 to 101 to the Lakers. What the hell? The Lakers can't guard me. What are you doing? So, it's just frustrating as hell. Mike Brown was saying today, yeah, we want to take 43s a game. Well, to say that is kind of crazy because not every night does the opportunity come up for 43s.
Right, exactly. What if a team plays?
The Celtics averaged 48 a game last year. So, but the Celtics then in the playoffs shot 60 in one game. So the bottom line is it's incredibly weird because you just see these blowouts and inconsistencies that there's no reason for. So you look at this game right now, the Blazers are up 24 on the Warriors with 4 minutes left. Now Jimmy Butler tonight doesn't. People talk about playoff Jimmy, and I love Jimmy, but tonight 3 for 7, disinterested, 27 minutes.
With the 7 attempts, that's an indicator that he's just not locked in.
Right, and so Steph Curry tonight 12 for 22. That's why he's Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
He's locked in every night.
Right.
And then off the bench, they love this kid Pajinski. He must have naked pictures of Steve Kerr. I don't know what the hell the love affair is there. He's the most overrated player in the league. Buddy Hield tonight, 0 for 2. What are you doing?
What's exactly? How are you only getting
Gary Payton Jr. only 7 minutes tonight? What are you doing?
Yeah. It's just odd. Just an odd stat line, across the board.
Yeah, so did Kerr have a bet on the game tonight?
That's what I'm saying. It looks odd.
Now we can't joke about that.
Right. You
I
really
mean, like, what the
right.
hell is those minutes tonight?
Right,
I mean,
exactly. How is
I mean,
Gary
like,
Payton only playing 7 minutes?
that's why the over-unders are a little strange.
Yeah,
It's hard to predict.
right.
And so the
Like you
Warriors,
said, the Buddy Hield and Jimmy Butler's 9 shots between two of them. How's that possible?
actually, the Warriors, I think, played. Did they play last night, the Warriors?
They did. They played the Nuggets
Okay,
last
so
night.
it's a back-to-back. But still,
I don't care.
you're
You didn't
getting
have to
blown by
travel from the
Portland.
East Coast.
Yeah, you're getting blown by Portland.
You went from San Francisco to Portland.
Exactly. And you're getting blown by them. It's not close.
Right. Yeah.
And what are the T-Wolves doing tonight? Great defensive team. The Lakers have 126 points with 5 minutes left. So what are they doing?
Yeah, that's a
Like,
little alarming, isn't it?
and here's the thing. I have to go off again for a second right here. I talked about this last year in the playoffs, and this is just pisses me off. So here we are. I'm listening to the T-Wolves preview, and the T-Wolves didn't go out and do what they need to do. They need to get a point guard. Because if you're going to play Mike Conley 9 minutes again, what are we doing? Who's your other point guard? If you want to make it Terrence Shannon Jr., then do it. But if not, you have to play Mike Conley some more minutes.
Right.
People think, and again, we just said it before, positionless basketball. Great
Now,
in theory when you could do that when you have Joker, because Joker can play point. You can't do that with Dante DiVincenzo running the point.
right.
So tonight, the leader in assist is Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle for the T-Wolves.
Right.
So what is Mike Conley doing on your team then?
Yeah, what is he there for?
So, like, this is where Malcolm Brogdon could have made a ton of money for the Rockets or the Mavericks. So you say it to yourself, the guy played 22 minutes a night last year in the playoffs, and he desperately needed a point guard versus the Thunder. Because the Thunder were doing things to them defensively, and they didn't know how to read the defense. Mike Conley can read the defense, but we kept taking him out.
And you know about this. You want your best players not necessarily to have the highest usage rate with the ball because that takes a lot out of you when you constantly have the ball in your hands.
And the other thing is, we need the guy to make the decision-making be Mike Conley.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you trust his decision.
Well, what the hell are we doing here? This guy played 9 minutes tonight.
Yeah, he's got to play more than that. That's egregious. He's got to play at least 25, 26 minutes, no?
So what are we doing?
Yeah,
It's
he's
like,
got to play
so
more.
what are we doing? So in the playoffs, your offense was awful. You're lucky you got past the Warriors.
Well, you were begging last year for him to play more in the postseason.
Yeah, he played 22 minutes in the postseason last year. Why?
Right.
36 minutes. Let's go.
Right.
If you can't do that in the offseason as a freaking GM, you need to go get one.
Right.
It's
Unbelievable.
just amazing.
Well, I think you're bringing up a great point, Uncle Dave. There's just some interest. There's just really some head scratching things already with some of these decisions here between the GMs and the coaches. You're already saying, what the hell are you doing in the 2 games into the season?
Yeah, I mean, like, they have different depth than we do. Obviously, as high school coaches, I'm lucky if I get 7 guys who can walk and chew gum. But Mike Conley knows how to play. Like, you desperately need a point guard. There's no real, unless you want to give it to Terrence Shannon Jr., which I'm all for. But then, who's playing the point tonight? Like, so tonight's minutes are just bizarre. It just
Like
doesn't
you
make
said,
a lot of sense.
Who are the assists coming from, too? Like you said, you don't want Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle being your assist leaders.
Yeah. And you could say, oh, yeah, well, they could bring the ball up the court, Anthony. But we don't want Anthony bringing the ball up the court.
No.
We want to set Anthony Edwards a down screen while he's standing in one of the corners and let him curl.
Coming off that, right, yeah.
And we let him just use his freakiness.
Right.
We don't want to make the game hard. Dante DiVincenzo is not a point guard. So, like, what are we doing here? So, I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get it. It's something weird here.
We'll see what happens over the course of the season. But like you said, it's definitely maybe they're still tampering with. But that's what preseason's for, is it not? Like, you should be coming into the regular season ready to go, I think, with some of these guys.
This is Bizarro world. I don't know.
And we talked about it, too. You knew you were coming into a season where your conference is just stacked, from top to bottom here. So you don't have many games to play with here. You can't say,
no, that's why I said Dallas used to be an 0-2.
Yeah, you gotta have some urgency already here. It's not like in the East where you could maybe waffle around a little bit. In the West, you got to be ready to go here.
I tell you what, that's why getting off to a good start this year, I think, in the West is really
very important. Yep.
I usually don't think it is important, but now I think it is because, like we said, just to use the example, last week there were 12 teams in the NFC that were 500 or better. And so that's never happened before. I looked it up. So the Vikings were 3-3 until that abysmal performance last night. So next week, if they lose to the Lions, which they will, they'll be 3-5. They're done because this is a year where everybody's got a good record.
Right.
And so your chances of being one of the 7 out of 12 when you still got to play the Packers twice, the Lions another time, like our schedule is rough. So, like, it's not good. So you had to get to 4-4 to hang around. And, like,
Right.
again, it's more urgent this year because of the way the cookie has crumbled. So the West this year has some interesting plot lines.
We talked about it. We said, like, there's maybe 3 or 4 teams where you're like, they're definitely not making the playoffs. But the rest were like, hey, they got
Utah's going to come up short, maybe.
Right.
But
Portland
probably will come up short. But we got to see.
Yeah, everyone else, though, we thought they have a chance of some sort. They have a realistic chance, right?
Yeah, see, Sacramento won that game versus Utah. Yeah, Markkanen went off 33 points again. He's been good.
So we'll go to our next team, Uncle Dave. The Utah Jazz at 20.
Oh, they're going to win more than 20.
I say so, too. I say they'll win more than 20 games.
I would bet, if I was a gambling man, I would bet everything I had on that.
Yeah, Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler, I think, are good players. I mean, they'll
20's the mark?
20.
Oh, my God.
More than that.
I'm telling you right now. Ace Bailey's going to have – right now he's struggling. There'll be a couple of nights where if it's a close game and you ISO him, you can't stop him. Yeah. I'm telling you. He is not a great player, but he's a great talent. And so there's going to be a night where he just goes off. He's just got to grow up a little bit.
I say they get that by at least 7 or 8 more games, I think. I think
Walter Clayton –
yeah.
Walter Clayton's already showed that he's got a little something.
Right.
All right, Nurkic is not terrible.
Plus, you got our guy Flipper there.
Yep. Keontae George is not bad.
You got Nurkic on the roster, who's a good veteran. So
Walker Kessler is solid.
Yep.
I mean, so this is a team that I'm telling you could do some things.
Yeah, just off talent alone, I see them winning more than 20. I think you have enough guys on the team that are talented enough where you'll win 20 at least.
Plus, it's a good franchise. They'll still sell out every night.
Yeah, the fan base is a good one. So, yeah, I agree.
The players will be motivated.
Plus, you got a veteran Kevin Love on the team that's going to keep your head steady.
Tough loss tonight.
Yep.
My man Zach LaVine, who I love, trying to fight through the knees of life here. 31 tonight. Awesome for Zach. Malik Monk, one of my favorite players that no one talks about. 7 for 14, 20 points tonight off your bench. That's insane.
Yeah, that's incredible production.
Russell Westbrook, 17 minutes, 4 assists. There you go.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Still a good player.
Yep, Russ is he's just gonna move the needle for you in a positive way most nights.
Yeah.
Doing that already.
Yep.
Next team, Uncle Dave, we have the Cavaliers, projected 50 wins, under or over.
Oh, definitely over 50.
I think so too.
Because the East is choppy right now.
Yeah. Once you get Max Strus and Garland back with Mitchell, I think they're gonna be humming. They're gonna be really
Andre Hunter too. When he comes back, they can guard when he comes back.
Yeah. And the East is not as strong of a conference, so I definitely see them winning at least 50 games.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
That's for sure over. Then we got the Orlando Magic at 50 as well.
Yeah, over.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Even though they're off to a crap start, my man Ben Caro hasn't gotten it done, but I like the Gonzaga kid at the point. I think they're going to be fine.
Yeah. Plus Desmond Bane, he'll fit into his role eventually too as well. They'll be fine.
Yes.
And then we have the Knicks, Uncle Dave, at 47.
Definitely over. Mike Brown's offensive approach and watching the first 2 games already. If we could speak about that for a minute, while I let my wonderful dog out here, Lily, who's on the podcast now. She's a star. Coach Brown has more free-flowing offense. You can see it already. That he's also going to have the ball less in Jalen's hands, which I think might cost him a win or 2 here or there. But at the same time, I think in the long run, we
talked about that last year. We said when the Knicks made the coaching change, you got to get someone where it's out of his hands a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit more. And so, and plus, I hate to say it, they played Tyler Kolek, who I liked when Malcolm Brogdon left.
He looked pretty good, Kolek, the other night, too.
I like Kolek. I mean, I know, defensively, it's always a lot to learn for a kid. But Tyler Kolek is a heady point guard. He's going to make the right reads. He could be a guy that could definitely help you. Tyler played 13 minutes. I know they were up a lot tonight. Played 13 minutes, 4 assists. That's what you want out of him, and keep your guy in front of you. Right. I mean, if he can do that, I think they'll be all right. I mean, and you know what? I still say you can get something out of Landry Shamet. He's not a bad player. I think
I
he's a
mean,
guy.
you have to remember, Uncle Dave. He had a game I remember against the Warriors when they had Kevin Durant, where he had like 30 points off the bench. I mean, he's a guy who could really fill it up.
Yeah, yeah. So I really think that Mike Brown's offense, although Knicks had, I think, the fifth best offense in the league last year, I think that the offense will improve because of how they're going to play. I think they're going to push the ball a little more. And one of my favorite players in the league is still OG Anunoby. I love this guy. He's quickly becoming my new, my
Pascal
new Iggy.
Siakam. Yeah.
He's my new Iggy guy. He's like one of these guys that I would just love to have. He just plays his ass off all the time. Already fans in New York are giving beef about Karl Anthony Towns. So why you give beef tonight? 26-13 again. Just keep giving beef. 6 for 16, but they all complain about him. I'm like, guy, you got a guy 9 years into his career who's a jump shooter. Did you think you were going to change him? The answer is no.
Yeah, between the first two games, he's 23 and 12 already.
Yeah, so the bottom line is, is he a dumb player with his fouls? Well,
he does get into that. Yeah.
The problem is him and Jalen Brunson, your two best players traditionally right now, cannot move their feet.
Right.
And so here's the problem. That's why OG is really your best player in a different way.
Yeah.
Because OG is a great defender. But the bad news is that everybody's already busting this guy. So the year you were born, the Mets had to pay this guy Bobby Bonilla. They signed him to like a $25 million contract. Now, just because you sign a guy who's a 280 hitter to a $25 million contract,
he doesn't become automatically better, right?
It doesn't mean he's now a 300 hitter. You signed him for who he is. So it's like dating someone. Why would you date someone you want to change? So for me, Karl Anthony Towns, 6 for 16, but he's a 7-foot jump shooter. And last year, correct me if I'm wrong, he did have a playoff game where he had 40, did he not?
Who's that? Okay, I think he had some games where he was like 35, close to 40.
40 versus the Pacers in one game. So obviously he's not perfect. That is by far his best playoff year last year.
It was his best. Yes, it was his best.
You're going to get another 1 or 2 more years of prime Towns out of him because he's going to be 32 or 33 in a couple of years. So he's not a great physical specimen as far as taking care of his body. He's not like OG Anunoby.
Right.
So you're going to get a couple of good more years out of him, but that's who he is. He's a jump shooter from the corner.
Right.
He would have been the perfect guy to play with LeBron because LeBron always likes his big guys in the corner.
Yeah, exactly. He would have been perfect for that. That's right.
Jalen Brunson played well tonight, 31 points. Towns, 26. But my point is, you don't get to choose the way these guys play if they've been playing that way for a long time. Like, you went out and got him. That's who he is.
Plus, you have another year of Mikal Bridges in New York, so he'll be, I think, better this year too as well.
He played well tonight, 5 for 10.
Yep. And Jordan Clarkson, if you could get him going off the bench, especially on nights where you want to maybe have Brunson play a little less, I think that could be big for them as well. We'll see. I like their roster. I think they have a good roster with some good camaraderie there. Yabusele, I think, is a nice addition in the offseason as well. So I do like their team from top to bottom there. Landry is going to get some more minutes too, so people are going to see that he could really. I mean, when he came also in the postseason last year after not playing like the first series, I thought he was pretty good for them actually.
He is also he's a good combo guard too.
He is, yeah.
He's a guy that can play both spots.
Yeah, he could play some point for you in emergency if you need him to.
But I think we're seeing something here, like you said before. The positionless basketball thing proves to be garbage if you have another coach who understands that they could pick you up full and make you pay for not having.
Well, then you're making them, like you said, then you take away the positionless basketball because not every guy's equipped for that, to be handling like that and run on offense too. Like you said, Cooper Flagg was glaring once the Spurs got up in his shit. All of a sudden, it's like, all right, I'm supposed to run the offense and I got a guy up my ass. It's totally different then. And the Thunder did that to the Rockets the other night too. So we saw when both teams trying to do that, 0 for 2.
And he's entering the ball about 4 or 5 feet above the hash.
Uh-huh.
You can't start your offense 4 or 5 feet above the hash unless you're up 10 with a minute left.
Plus the NBA shot clock at 24 seconds. By the time you get to half court, you're at 20 seconds.
So if I could turn you 2 or 3 times on the way up the court, we're dealing with a 15-second shot clock.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And that makes your job easy.
Yep. We have the Indiana Pacers, Uncle David, 46. Under or over?
46, you said?
Yep, 46.
Oh, I got to go under.
I agree with you.
Even though he's one of my favorite coaches, I don't see when you look at their roster. So last night they play a great game and they lose.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaker, yeah.
I mean, Mathurin is good. Rick is one of the best coaches in the world, but at the same time, like you still got to have a couple of players to win. I also think this is like cheating, but I also think that once they see that maybe it's going to be a 9 or a 10 spot for them, if that, they're going to sell a couple of pieces, which I think is a mistake. But I think they'll listen to a couple of offers. Now, I'm not saying Mathurin or Pascal. I think they'd be untouchable if I was my world. But you never know. They might be sellers to good pieces that they shouldn't be sellers to.
The Pacers,
Nemhart's a great player.
The Pacers are in a unique situation because they're good enough where they could win that amount of games, I think, this year.
Sure.
The thing is, I think you're kind of, let's just be honest, I think you're kind of playing for next year's team. That's how I view this season for them.
Sure.
You know, because you lost Miles Turner, who was, I think, the bedrock of your franchise for so long. And let's be honest, you know you're not winning anything as long as Halliburton's out for the season. So you know that this is basically a year where obviously you're looking to see what's there and you want to maybe experiment a little bit. But they could also be a playoff team. So it's like, I don't know where they fit into that now, what direction they want to go. Obviously, it's the beginning of the year. So I think we can ask this question 3 months from now, and it could be totally different depending on where they're standing as far as their wins and losses go. But the Pacers, I think, have a unique situation here because obviously this is still, this was a team that was in the finals last year. So you don't want to, like you said, you don't want to rip the team apart either. I don't know what you do if you're them, honestly. It's really kind of unique.
Well, I think if you have Rick Carlisle, you know that he's going to get the most out of him, but you have to ask yourself, do you want him to get the most out of him? Like you said, like if you want it, do you want to go to purgatory and win 45 games? I think you do because you're going to get those guys back. It's not like you're not going to like getting Halliburton's like getting a free agent. Eventually, you're going to get him back. Mm-hmm. But like if you look at their roster, it's not half as bad as the Celtics roster. I mean, the Celtics roster right now, I'm looking at it. It's just I mean, Jesus God. I mean, Derek White and Brown are good, but after that, I mean, holy God, Anthony Simmons is all right. I mean, he'll be all right. But I mean, Xavier Tillman, maybe. I mean, Derek White, like I said, and Brown are good players. Peyton Pritchard, obviously, Sam Hauser. Ron Harper Jr. I mean, this is a tough crew right here. I mean, this is gonna be interesting.
So
the Celtics could miss altogether.
The way it's gonna go is with them. I like Obi Toppin as well. But if I'm them, I would, like you said, I think Siakam is the one guy, that I say, and Mathurin might be the other guy too, where you're
He's
like,
so talented, I can't get rid of him.
Yeah, those two guys. Everybody else, I'd be listening to a trade offer.
Well, that's the thing. We got to look at Nemhart's deal, and we got to look at the other guards' deal. They're both great defenders.
Plus, TJ McConnell's not playing right now either, so I don't know.
Exactly. So some like TJ McConnell, you're telling me the Rockets and the Mavericks wouldn't have a win by now?
Of course they would.
I mean, so now the problem is the Pacers wouldn't have a point guard, but TJ McConnell can get you something back in trade value. And I think I thought he signed an extension, but I mean, he could get you something back in value this year, especially because of what's going on right now. I mean, I don't know what the hell the Rockets are doing. At least the Mavericks get back somebody. But if you look at the roster of the Pacers right now, like, I don't like the panic. I mean, I would never get rid of, some of these players. Like, I really like, Nesmith. And, like I love him a lot, so I would never get rid of him, but I think they would. Nesmith and Nemhart, I love those guys. Those are the kind of guys you want, but this is the kind of guys that people are going to look for.
I just feel like for the Pacers this year, it's setting up for next season. That's what I think it's going to come down to. It's all about that. You're obviously looking to build and make your culture and improve your guys, obviously, and develop them, but at the end of the day, you're looking for this is an evaluation of who we keeping for next year, I think, with this roster currently. That's what I view it as. If I'm the GM, I'm Carlisle, that's how I'm looking at this season.
Yeah, it's so scary though, because you hate to.
I know.
You hate to be doing that in October, but I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, but that's what it's going to. I think by the time we hit Christmas, that's what they're going to be looking at for the second half of the season. I mean, it'd be totally different if Tyrese Halliburton was on the team right now and healthy.
Yeah.
Plus the Miles Turner loss. I think that was a huge loss for them, but he was extremely important for them. Kind of a year where I'm not going to say it's a lost season because they're going to be good enough where they're going to be competitive, but they know they're not winning the Eastern Conference. They know they're not beating the top teams. So it's just kind of to see what you have for next season and improve your guys that you have currently for this year. So next we have Uncle Dave, the Boston Celtics at 46 wins. Under or over?
36, you said?
46.
Oh, definitely going under.
I like under as well. I see them a few games below 500, I think, honestly.
Yeah.
I really do. Like you said, I think you just realize how important Jason Tatum is, obviously, because my goodness here.
Yeah.
That is, because now you roll coverage down to Jaylen Brown more. When you have Tatum on the floor, you really can't do that. So everybody now is maybe Anthony Simons picks his game up, and maybe they have they have a run here. But my goodness, it's certainly, I think, well under 46. I think I project them maybe closer to like 38, 39.
Yeah. I mean, I tell you, it's funny. Like I just don't see them spending any money to do it either. I guess they're in a panic
No,
mode right
again,
now.
like they're kind of just we talked about the Pacers. I feel like that's the Celtics season. That
Yeah,
you're
I
kind
think
of
the
looking to
Pacers
see
will
who
be a
am I
little bit
keeping for
better.
next year.
I think the Pacers will be a little bit better. I think the Celtics, uh, they run so well that I hate to say this. I mean, I don't know who the obvious pick would be, but they're probably thinking about getting in that lottery. Because that's the way the Celtics think.
Right.
Like they're already thinking they
We
gave
know
away all that crap. Like
right.
they said,
We know we're not winning this year, right?
right, so let's maybe if I get an extra ping pong ball, look what happened to the Mavericks.
Exactly.
Now,
Right.
now I don't know who the top guy is. I mean, I assume it's
We're gonna see what happens in college, right? Is it BYU guy? Yeah.
one of the studs. The BYU kid is supposed to be out of the world.
We'll see.
You know, Boozer's son. I saw some highlights. Looks very good. But we have to see. But there's so much talent out there. We just got to wait and see. What's what. But it's funny though. The Pacers drafted Cam Jones out of Marquette, who I think could be a point guard in the NBA. But he got arrested over the summer, and I don't know if he's on the roster or not. But like I just don't know, like if that is a kid who can run the point for them until T.J. McConnell gets back. I mean, I don't know how McConnell. I don't think is out that long. But Cam Jones, let's see if he played tonight. No, last night I don't think he did. But he's a guy I think that I don't know if you remember him from Marquette. Such a talented player.
Yeah.
A really, really good player. So I don't know. I think they could do it, but you got to see what.
I saw his mugshot recently.
Yeah, you got to ask yourself. The Celtics are probably thinking lotto. That's how scary they are.
Yeah, like you said, they've always been a franchise where it's one or two steps ahead, right? So I could see that thinking for them. Again, it's just about trying to, I think, build on what you have with your current team. But like you said, if 3 months from now, maybe they're thinking, how do we improve our situation here by making a trade? Or like you said, maybe they're looking at the draft.
Yeah, it's
Trading
all
up.
about contracts. So for me, like if I'm the Pacers or even the Celtics, you could get a lot back for Peyton Pritchard, but I think he just signed the extension.
He did, yeah. They just did a contract with him.
You could. I'm telling you, you get a lot back for him right now because you're telling me he isn't as good as the kid that used to play backup point for the Mavericks who helped him win the NBA Finals.
Oh, Barea, he's better than JJ
Exactly. So, like you have a guy like that
Yeah,
in
he's
Houston
better.
or Dallas, he could get it done for you.
Right. And JJ Barea sometimes started
Tell you,
games. Yeah.
and Houston's got to give up a lot. So I mean, if Peyton Pritchard, like you could get a lot for him right now. I know you just signed a deal, but is that the way the Celtics think? I don't know. We got to see. Or is T.J. McConnell a guy? I think he just signed too, but like, there's a guy that, Jesus, like, what would he do on the Mavericks or the Rockets?
Yeah, like I just like the Mavericks or the Rockets, like call up Eric Bledsoe. What the hell's he doing? Call him up and
Yeah, where's he?
what the fuck's going on with him? See what the hell he's doing with his life currently. Want to talk about a freak talent? My God.
Oh my God, yeah. I don't even know if he's not even in the league right now, is he?
I don't think so. Ask Jeff Teague. What the he's on his podcast here. Say, hey Jeff, do you want to come play fucking point guard for us or what?
Yeah, it's a good deal. Sign up.
Yeah, come on. It's like all you have to do is just get the ball over half court for Christ's sake. So Eric Bledsoe's playing in China right now. He's playing for the Shanghai Sharks. Get his ass over here.
Yeah, trade make more money over here. Then again, he might be the man in Shanghai like Marbury was. Who knows?
I know shit, but you have a chance with the Mavericks or the Rockets, Uncle Dave. You have a chance if you're a point guard for that team. That's a pretty good point guard, like Jeff Teague or Eric Bledsoe were. You could win a championship with that team. Those rosters are talented enough.
Like we said before, even Ricky Rubio, John Wall,
yeah. This is exactly. This is not coming to play point guard for the Jazz. We're not going anywhere this season.
Right.
But you have a chance to play with Kevin Durant or with Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson and Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis. Come on, you have to sign up for that.
There's some talent there.
Yeah, absolutely. Then we have the next thing. We have the Milwaukee Bucks at 45, under or over.
Ooh, that is a tough one. I think that's going
That's
to
right on the
be.
cusp, right? Yeah, it's
I
really
think that's
close.
deadly accurate because the Bucks are going to be all right because they put shooters around this guy. I think that that's going to hit the mark. So I'll choose over.
I will as well. Miles Turner. I like that addition there. Like you said,
Yeah,
they
I mean, I don't want to be crap out and choose the exact amount. So I'll say over.
yeah, I'll say over as well. I will. But like you said, that to me, out of all of the under overs, I feel like that's really right at the number right there
Me
with
too.
that 45. Which is really saying something because it felt like when Lillard left, that was kind of like a reset on them that they were going to kind of be like a Pacers and Celtics situation. But the Bucks, I think, they're going to be in the mix. I think maybe they're not going to be as good as the Cavaliers or the Pistons or the Knicks or the Magic, but they're going to be a playoff team, I think, though, for sure in the
Yeah,
Eastern
they could
Conference.
be in a. They'll be in a 6 or 7.
Yep. Then we got the Atlanta Hawks, Uncle Dave, at 44.
Some people are so high on these guys, I just don't see it.
I like under on that for them,
Yeah,
44.
I think they could do 44 because Trey will have win you
There's
five or
something
six
wrong with the
games.
culture there, though. There's just something not right.
Well, Trey's a volume shooter and he doesn't guard. Never changes his body, so he's getting banged up. He's got back maybe 1 or 2 really good more years left. Then peak Trey will be gone because he hasn't changed his body. Porzingis is always hurt. The kid Johnson is obviously talented, but at the same time, like I just don't see it. I mean, I think they'll win more than 44 because the conference is weak.
Yeah, they very well could. But I'm gonna say under for them. It's just I don't know. We have Luke Kennard on the roster as well. They added Nikhil Alexander Walker. You got Porzingis there. You got some pieces right there.
Oh yeah,
You have something there. It's not like I don't know. It just seems like it's just the Trae Young era. It's like it's feeling like a little bit like Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, where it's just you're not going to get exactly what you thought you were going to get.
no, I agree.
But we'll see though. But Okongwu has averaged 18 so far this year. Alexander Walker 15.
Where's the kid they
Yeah.
had from Duke? Where's the kid they had from Duke on that team? What was his name? The shooter who was like 6'8", who's black kid whose dad was a player in the NBA. Oh God, a couple of years back he graduated. I want to say like 2022. Oh Jesus, got drafted by the Hawks.
Oh, I know you're talking about. Hold on. It'll come to me the name.
Yeah,
Cam Reddish.
no, not him. A guy maybe a year or two after him. Oh, his dad, AJ Griffin.
Okay.
Where is AJ Griffin? You know,
Yeah.
he was on the Hawks. Where is he? Like, where the hell is AJ Griffin? I don't even know where the hell he is. He's a 6'9" kid who could really stroke it. Like
Yeah.
it's
He's
just
not. He's not. He was in the NBA for 2 seasons. He's not. He's not there no more.
yeah. I wonder where he is.
He averaged 9 points his first year in 22-23. He played 20 minutes a game. Then the next year, he averages 9 minutes a game and 2 points, and then he's gone.
Yeah, they must have gotten better and gotten tired of him.
Christ. Oh my God. What is he doing
Houston
now?
Rockets forward. There he is. Houston Rockets forward.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he
must
can
be,
really
he must
stroke
be in
it.
the G League affiliate because he's got no stats, Uncle Dave, for 2 years here.
Yeah, he can really stroke it. So my point is, like, you just don't know what some of these guys. Like, you look around,
Yeah.
you see stuff. What happened to a guy like that? We got to see is Okafor and Knox on our roster?
Okafor, remember, was picked up by the Pacers and Knox by the Warriors. I don't see Kevin Knox on the Warriors bench.
Right.
Okafor, I have no idea what's going on with him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Interesting.
I don't see any stats so far for this year. He played in one game last year.
The thing about the Hawks too is everybody's relying on Dyson Daniels to step up. I mean, I'm sure he's a fine player, but I'm just not understanding the love affair. I mean, I think he'll be okay maybe, but there's talking about him like he's going to be the bomb. Like, and it's just I don't know. Porzingis is always hurt. We talked about that. It's just going to be it's going to be interesting.
They're going to be one of those teams again in the middle area there in the purgatory.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson, talented, but we don't
Because
have
there's no
much.
way they're beating the Cavaliers or the Magic or the Knicks or the Pistons in a series. This is the Hawks. This is no way.
Right.
I think the Bucks, are going to separate themselves from them as well. So I think they're going to be really they're going to be on that 6th, 7th, and 8th seed, and that's going to be it. They're going to be a warm up and a tune up series for whoever those other teams are. I think that's what's going to come down to
Yeah.
them. We have the Pistons, Uncle Dave, at 43. I say,
I think they're going over.
yeah, over for sure on that one.
This is a team I think that could really shock some people, and if they were sitting there in the end of the year, like in the conference finals, I would not be shocked because I just felt like Nick last year they took a big step. I think that they got to replace Beasley a little bit. I don't know. Again, all this stuff is bounced on the deadline too, but they have so much around Cade, and I really believe in Bickerstaff as a coach. So
Yeah, they
I
had
think
Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson, so I think
there's some stuff there. So I think that you got to be, you got to keep your eye on them because they had the Knicks by the balls last year.
they did. I thought they could have won that series, honestly. If
And
you
the
didn't
Knicks,
have the Tim Hardaway Jr. foul in the corner there, I think they might have won that series.
yeah, and the Knicks, if people forget about that, they're struggling in that first round. They wind up in the conference finals, so it shows
Yeah,
you how quick stuff can
yeah,
change.
it could change, right? We got next team, Uncle David, the Toronto Raptors at 41.
I think they're going to go over. I like the Raptors here. I've been watching them. Their roster is fascinating to me. I mean, it all depends on of course how much Ingram plays. He's a guy that should be a better player by now.
He should be, yeah.
Scotty Barnes, R.J. Barrett, and Ingram. That's a hell of a group of three here. Grady Dick looks like he's a ton better now. Chucky Hepburn's only a rookie, but he is a talented kid, man. A kid from Louisville. Jonathan Magobo from San Francisco, very nice player as well. I mean, they're gonna be okay. They got some players there. Garrett Temple's not bad, so he got shed on their team from Houston. That's pretty funny. So, I mean, they got some players there. They're gonna have to get some good play out of the point. But Scotty Barnes and Ingram has some 1-2 punch, and R.J. Barrett is just a good player. I mean, people can, be assholes all you want. So far, he's 25, 8-5. Of course, it's only regular season, but 1 or 2 games, but still 1 game it is. But he's a good player. And then tonight he had 20 points. So I mean, he's a good player. And what else can we say about him?
Yep. No, I think he'd be like Barrett, Barnes, Jamal Shed, I think could maybe be an interesting player for you off the bench as well. Jacob Poeltl, you got Quickly, Grady Dick, Ingram. They're definitely, I think, going to be a nice nucleus this year. I could see them getting in the playoffs as well. I really do. I think they could be a top 8 team in the Eastern Conference. I think
Definitely.
they're talented enough.
They have, yeah, again, the point guard's going to be the key. I hate to say this. There was never a shortage of point guards in my lifetime like today. I mean, this is just,
Yeah.
this is getting crazy here.
It used to be the NBA was loaded with point guards 15 years ago. You had a great point guard on, it seemed like on every team.
Yeah.
You had Derrick Rose, you had Mike Conley. It felt like they were point guards everywhere, all over the place. And
They have Emmanuel Quickly, but he's really not a point,
no, he's not. He's kind of like you said, he's kind of a combo guard there.
Yeah, so it's tricky. Like, and Chucky Hepburn, could he do that? Maybe, but he's a scorer. So this is going to be, interesting.
Next team, Uncle Dave, we have the Miami Heat at 40.
Oof.
I feel like that's on the button as well. That one right there.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're 1-1 already with no roster.
I'm going to say under. I just don't think they have enough talent, I think, to keep. But again, though, they have a good culture, so maybe they do ask some games out they shouldn't, and maybe they get some games won on grit. But I think that's but like you said, they play in a conference that's not as good as the West, so maybe they do squeak by and get that mark.
I think they would hit exactly, so I'll go a little under. I'll say 40 wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Norman Powell, you might have a situation there where you have, a little more depth with him on the roster as well. Tyler Hero is a very good player. Man, Bam Adebayo, he's one of the best centers in the NBA, so they might. I mean, they could very well do it. I really think they're just kind of thin, I think, as far as their talent level.
So thin, yeah.
My goodness. But yeah, all right, so the Miami Heat at 40, we're both saying under on them.
Yeah.
Well, the 76ers, Uncle David, 38.
Wow, you want to talk about a coin flip? I'm going to go over. Embiid looked good the other night. I'm going to go over. Obviously, they got some good players, but at the same time, it's going to be such a coin flip with
It
them
depen-
because
with them, right? It just depends on how much Embiid plays, right? Is he anything like I don't know.
even McCain, that backcourt, if they get McCain, that's a three-headed
And
monster.
Maxey, right? Yeah, I mean that could. I mean they
That's
could.
a three-headed monster that we haven't seen since the late '80s, early '90s Pistons. They had that three-headed monster.
Yeah, geez, it just makes you wonder if Paul George could ever fucking get on the floor, right? And maybe
Yeah,
give you something. Holy
yeah,
shit! Yeah, I'm thinking here. Holy
yeah,
fuck! I mean, you got also someone like Andre Drummond, who's a veteran on the team as
yeah,
well. I mean, come on,
yeah. Rosie's in the booth. What's up with that,
jeez.
Rose?
You know, Kelly Oubre Jr. I like him. Quentin Grimes. Shit, and Tyrese Maxey and Edgecombe. Who's keeping in front of those guys?
Yeah, that's a good squad. I mean, you just got to get
I'm
something.
gonna I'm gonna
Out
say
of the-
I'm gonna say over. Even I like the over even if Joel Embiid plays half the season. Honestly,
Well, I think if you're them, that might be something to shoot for. I know it's a low bar, but to have him play half the season and maybe get him to play 30 minutes a night in the playoffs would be worth it.
yeah, I think the motor is going to be with Edgecombe and Maxey and McCain. I think that's who you're the face of your franchise is now. That nucleus, that three right there. I think Joel Embiid now it's just about him fitting in with those guys, not the other way around. I mean,
Sure.
against the Celtics, he looked as stiff as a board. I mean, my God, he just can't move vertically anymore or side to side. You know, he just doesn't have the lift. You can just tell he's just landlocked now.
Yep.
It's incredible how people thought it was a coin flip between him and Jokic a few years ago. That's
Oh my
totally
gosh.
gone now.
Not if anybody knew what they were looking at.
That's totally gone. Even at that time, I thought Jokic was better, but
Oh
now
yeah.
that ship has absolutely. Shaquille O'Neal even said that he's like, I don't want to hear that anymore.
No.
Jokic, it's solely his right now as far as best big of the NBA.
The hardest thing is I just can never think a way to put Joker in the all time centers. I think in my head he's got to be top 5, but then when you sit there and you do it, you say, it's tough.
Yeah, that's a prestigious list, ain't it?
Yeah, I mean, people always just give you the Bill Russell, Sandy Koufax thing where they go, well, it's Bill Russell, but that doesn't answer the question.
No, it's not. Yeah, I
You know,
think
so
Jokic scores on Bill Russell.
exactly. So for me, like obviously Wilton, Kareem are in my list, but and Akeem and Shaq. But at the same time, this son of a bitch is, and this guy's just different.
Right.
He's different than all of them. He's different than every one of them.
Yeah, he is.
And he's different. Now the good news for him is he plays in an era where he doesn't have to guard anybody.
Right.
But that's not his fault. So.
Right. He's the best passing big, I think we could say, of all time.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, him and Kareem, definitely the best passing bigs. Moses Malone, probably the next guy at 6 or 7, David Robinson. And then obviously, people go crazy if you say Bill Russell, but, people in there, those are Robert Parrish, Patrick Ewing.
I think he's past that second tier of great centers. He's past those guys for sure. David Robinson.
He's definitely better than David Robinson. But what about Akeem and Shaq? That's a problem.
No, I have a hard oh my God, it's close. I mean, I definitely will say it's worth mentioning, I think now, but Shaquille O'Neal, people have to remember how fucking great this guy was. Holy
Plus,
shit.
the game is so different at that position.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it is totally different. Like you said also.
I could break down guards and forwards, no problem, but that position has totally changed more than any other.
Right.
Now you have very few centers in the NBA now. So I look at him and I just say to myself, God, it's just
you have teams now, Uncle Dave, that don't even have a rim protector now. Like, who's the Warriors rim protector? It used to be at least you had a guy who was a glass cleaner. You don't even have that now. On some rosters.
They're going to get away with it and win 55 games.
Yeah. Next team, Uncle Dave, we have the Chicago Bulls at 38.
Oh, I'm rooting for Billy D hard. I just don't know what they have anymore. They don't have a lot. They haven't been fortunate in the draft. I feel like they've been a little unlucky, matter of fact, in the draft. They've been stuck in purgatory in that 9-10 game forever. I feel like they never should have got rid of DeRozan, but what are you going to do? That's water under the bridge.
Yeah, Josh Giddey, Kevin Huerter, Vucevic, Ray Jones.
Yeah.
I think it's just, you have some odd kind of parts. I think this is a team where if you're a team that's contending, maybe you want to pluck guys from this roster. It just feels like that type of team where, I don't know, you're going to kind of be in no man's land again, I think. You're not going to be...
Who are you throwing the ball to get a bucket?
Yeah, exactly. It's just, it's how the Magic's roster was constructed before Shaquille O'Neal got there. It's just kind of odds and ends kind of parts. Maybe they play well together, but you're not contending for anything serious for this team. You're not having a deep playoff run. There's just no way.
And that's why you're stuck. But Billy Donovan is is an effort guy, so he might get something out of him. But at the same time,
Like I like Buzelis. I think he's a nice player. He can score. He's averaging 21 so far in the season. So it's just oh god. I think you're just kind of in a rough way if you're the Bulls here
yeah,
in man's land here.
no doubt, no doubt. Letting Charlie out the door here. A lot of dog interruptions. I apologize.
That's all right.
It's a family show.
And then that's right. On the next team, we have Uncle Dave, the Charlotte Hornets at 28. Now, like the Hornets, like that's a better position.
I'm going over. I'm going over.
I'm going over too. I think that's a better position for them to be in than the Bulls. Like I think the Bulls, at least the Hornets, you have a young, nice nucleus there. Like they added Colin Sexton right there, who's still young enough. You know, LaMelo Ball, and you could try to build something there. You drafted Conklin, Brandon Miller. We'll see what happens with him.
Speaking of Ball, I think Lonzo Ball is going to add a lot to the Cavs, but the first two nights he hasn't. I expected more from him the first two nights defensively. I know it's been a while for him, so maybe he's rusty. But I feel like he is going to help those Cavs a lot. But I'm just not seeing it. I know it's only game 2, but I'm not seeing it yet.
He's missed a lot of games with injury, too, so I'm going to give him a little bit of time. Yeah.
But he is – people forget, he's 6'7". He's long.
Yeah, he is.
And he was a very good defender, so we got to see what happens with him.
No, he could definitely add something to him, to the Cavaliers for sure. He could he could bring a spark to them, I think.
Sure.
You got the Brooklyn Nets, Uncle Dave, at 18. 18 wins, over or under.
I would have a hard time thinking anybody wouldn't get 18 wins, but I think they're going to play hard, so I think they're going to go over.
I do as well. You have, Haywood Highsmith and Terrence Mann and Michael Porter Jr. I will say I don't see them winning a lot more than that. Like I would put their at like 25. I really don't see them winning more than that. Yeah. So I will say, just because we talked about lack of effort, the Nets are going to be the beneficiary of having a lot of teams where maybe they're on the end of a road trip or whatever, and you have chances to beat those teams, even the really good ones. Yeah. So I'm going to say just the way the league's constructed now, I see them getting the 18 wins. I do.
Yeah, Thomas had a good game tonight.
But not much more than that, though, for sure.
No.
And the last team we have, Uncle Dave, the Washington Wizards at 14 wins.
I got more. Over.
Yeah, I would say so for the same reasons we just talked about with the Nets. I just feel like, you're gonna.
The East is not a deep East right now. Last year's East, I'll give them 14, but Washington's already won one game. They're 1-1. So right now,
you're almost a tenth of the way there.
You're looking at that. You're saying to yourself, they're already got a shot. So it sounds crazy, but.
To only hit that amount of wins or lack thereof, you have to drop your first you have to start 5 and 28 or something like that, which they're not.
You got our guy there, Marvin Bagley, who's trying to get a career here finally.
God, wow.
There's not much there. I mean, Trey Johnson should be okay. I mean, Kispert from Gonzaga, you look at him, and they have C.J. McCollum and Chris Middleton, who won in the game tonight. Chris Middleton went off. So there is some good stuff there. Alex Sarr. I mean, so they have picked up some guys that other people have given up on. And sometimes that is a, motivating factor for guys. They do have some players there. I mean, Cam Whitmore is not terrible. I mean, they have some talented guys, but there's just not a lot of depth there.
Right.
We're talking the last 7 or 8 guys, just guys that, are not going to help you. So it's interesting, but I just think they're going to win more than 14 because they got guys like I said, McCollum and Middleton will ask their way into a couple of wins.
Let's be honest. On teams like the Nets or the Wizards, these are guys that are probably trying to prove that they still belong in the NBA too. So you have
and maybe at the deadline, somebody goes and grabs a Middleton,
right,
or a McCollum, like a CJ McCollum right now. So here we are again talking about CJ could play the point. He's really a combo, but he's a guy like you tell me in a month when the Wizards are 2-15. And the Mavericks and the Rockets are both 500, thinking their fan bases are already bitching. Like, you're telling me that C.J. McCollum his agent doesn't get a phone call?
Especially those veteran guys that still have something left in the tank. They have to get on rosters that are contenders. I mean, you only have a couple of chances more at this.
Yeah, so you look at him and you say, I could use him.
Right.
I mean, maybe especially the Rockets. To me, the Rockets have the biggest panic one because Fred VanVleet's not coming back.
Yeah, that's a
season. Kyrie will probably be back in March. But these other guys, I don't know what the hell the Rockets going to do. Yeah, Green didn't look bad playing the point, but he wasn't great either.
No, there's no natural point on either of those teams right now until
Şengün's bringing the ball up the court.
Well, that's the thing. He's playing point forward. They're just kind of patching it here and there.
But the funny thing is, people always talk about that phrase, but Larry Bird didn't bring the ball up when he was point forward. Larry Bird, they'd run their offense through him, but he never brought it up. And people forget this. Dennis Johnson, Tiny Archibald, they brought the ball up Larry Bird's whole career. Danny Ainge, they brought it up. Larry Bird didn't bring it up. Larry Bird would push it on the break and throw it ahead because he's a great outlet passer. And, like Iggy was a good point forward too. Draymond can do it, but they don't bring it up necessarily. Now, today's basketball, Draymond can bring it up because you have to cheat so much of Steph and Clay that you could get away with it. But with the Rockets and the Rockets and the Mavericks case, these teams are going to pick up full.
Mm-hmm.
You have to turn the guy 3 times. We talked about it.
Yeah. So that's our over-unders, folks, on what we think what the NBA season is going to be like. It's going to be obviously we'll revisit this at the end of the year and see where we stood.
Always fun. Always, I love over-unders. Always fun stuff.
Absolutely, there were a few that definitely stuck out to me for the being too high or too low. But again, we'll visit them at the end of the season. But
Mike and the Mad Dog got me addicted to over-unders. They used to do it in every sport every year, and they introduced me to that, and I used to love it. So I got to give a shout out before Chris Russo totally sold out. To Mike and the Mad Dog for doing the over and the unders.
And folks, we shall leave it there until next time, all right?
Yes.
All right, folks. Live long and prosper. May the force be with you.